afternoon in Milwaukee. Big League Baseball this afternoon. It's the Brewers and the Padres from Miller Park. Milwaukee trying to salvage the final game of the series and avoid the sweep and the much-anticipated debut of Alcides Escobar. He'll make his first career Major League start this afternoon. Prince Fielder, he's been doing it all year. He's putting together a potential record-setting year, swinging the bat here in Milwaukee. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us this afternoon. The Brewers get right back on the horse today. And, Rock, they're looking for their first win of this series. I think everybody's looking forward to the debut of Alcides Escobar today, though.
Little pressure on the kid. I mean, everybody in town talking about Escobar all season long. We saw a little bit of him last year in September, making his first career start with the Brewers. You know he's excited. Ken Maka's got him batting ninth in the batting order to take a little pressure off of him and allow him to do a little bit of running. But Ken Maka says that this guy can make an impact just about every place on the field. He's got good speed. Last night, pinch running from Prince Fielder, able to steal the base, his first career stolen base, gets to third base from Mike Cameron, so already making an impact. Escobar, that's the one thing that Ken Maka wants to see him do, is to run, put the pressure on the defense. He did that last night.
Well, he got a cup of coffee last year, did Escobar, in September as a September call-up, but he's never had a start. He's never had more than one at-bat in a game, so we'll see that this afternoon. Now, on the other side, the guy who's been doing it all year is Prince Fielder, and it is about time that we start to celebrate the kind of season that Fielder is putting together.
Now, every time we talk about this guy, I mean, he's more impressive. The things he's been able to do. Only Cecil Cooper got to 100 RBIs quicker than Prince Fielder. I mean, on pace to shatter Coop's all-time franchise record for RBIs, doing it against lefties, doing it against righties, taking his walks. I mean, right in the middle of the offense for the Brewers. This guy continues to get better and better every time he steps out on the field.
So Escobar and Fielder in the lineup. Manny Parra gets the ball for Milwaukee, the Brewers and the Padres. And it's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Stay with us.
Cool Whip.
By Menards. Save big money at Menards. By Time Warner Cable, the power of you. And brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Roof is open, the panels are open. Just a gorgeous afternoon here in Milwaukee. Thursday afternoon baseball from Miller Park, and the Brewers and the Padres, game 3 of this 3-game series. Milwaukee 55 and 58 to start the day. And a live wire crowd here on a Thursday afternoon, as Manny Parra and the Brewers hit the field. Parra will face Bud Black's lineup that has had a lot of success here against the Crew. Last night they pounded out 11 hits and 6 runs. The night before last, 13 runs on 22 hits, a season high for San Diego. You see Bud Black's lineup, brought to you by Subway.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on Manny Parra here today. He's been throwing the baseball pretty well. Back-to-back starts and 2 wins to go on his record. 4-0 since his call-up with a 379 earned run average. Bullpen's been used a lot already in this homestand and series. Got to go 7 today. No ifs, ands, or buts. And in order to do that, locate the fastball, keep the pitch count down early today.
Parra will match up with Cesar Carrillo, who makes his major league debut for the Padres. See the Brewers defensively today, and Escobar making start number 1 of his major league career. A cup of coffee last year. He had a little time last night. Actually stole a base. He pinch ran for a fielder in the 9th inning. He stole a base and created a little havoc. That's one thing he does well, is run. And Escobar finally getting his chance in the big leagues here in 2009. 73 degrees. Just a slight breeze blowing coming out of the east. And a beautiful day for baseball. A lot of folks coming over from the Wisconsin State Fair just down the road. The fairgrounds on I-94. So it's a great time to be in Milwaukee this time of year. We're glad you're with us. Dana Demuth, the crew chief, calls the balls and strikes today. Doug Eddings, Brian Knight, and Hunter Wendelstedt on the bases. Game 3 of this homestand. The Astros are coming in tomorrow. 3-game series with Houston beginning tomorrow. The Padres are headed to St. Louis. Tony Gwynn leads off, and Parra deals him a strike to get it started. Tony Gwynn, the former Brewer, having a good season in San Diego. .289 average to start the day, and making his 2nd consecutive start. Parra right back in there with a fastball. It's 0-2. Making quick work of Tony Gwynn. A split finger fastball for a strikeout, and 3 pitches and 1 out.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Able to command the fastball first 2 pitches and then put him away with the split. Check that one out. Looked more like a slider than anything. It reacted like a slider, but you could see the grip on the baseball, the fingers spread apart. That pitch actually went away from Gwynn and went down. Good pitch.
So Parra strikes out his former teammate, and now facing David Eckstein. Parra's been a different guy since he returned from AAA Nashville. He went down to clear his head, work on his stuff, and primarily work with Chris Bosio, who now joins Manny Parra on the big league staff. Chris Bosio yesterday named as the pitching coach on an interim basis. The Brewers relieving Bill Castro of his duties. And what Parra has done since he's come back is exactly what Bosio has preached. And it's not different from what Bill Castro preached. It just came with a different voice.
A little different message, a little different approach. And I think that's what, you know, the idea was behind making the switch in the pitching coaches. All comes down to the performance of the players. And so far, Manny's performance not too bad.
Well, Manny Parra just strikes out a guy who rarely strikes out. It's David Eckstein about every 15 at-bats.
Now check out that pitch. I mean, that's nasty. Get ahead with the fastball, locate the fastball, just like the pig said, beginning of the inning, and then put him away with the split.
Well, we're 2 batters in, but right away you can tell Parra has electric stuff. We'll see if he can maintain it throughout the game. Adrian Gonzalez .264 batting average to start the day. Gonzalez has 8 hits in the series. 6 of those came in the opener on Tuesday night. He was 6 for 6, which tied a Padre franchise record. Tony Gwynn had that record. Tony Gwynn Sr. He did it back in '93, and Gonzalez joins him there. He is 1 homer away from his 3rd consecutive 30 home run season. Most felt Gonzalez when he was coming up with Texas, originally property of the Florida Marlins. They didn't think he'd hit for a lot of power. They kind of compared him to a Mark Grace type first baseman, but once he went to San Diego and got a chance to play pretty much every day, the power really started to come out, and he's hitting a lot of home runs in a ballpark that is not conducive to the long ball.
And sometimes that's the way it goes with guys. I mean, you learn how to hit first, then the power comes later, and he certainly knows how to hit.
He bangs one out against Parra, his 9th hit of this series. Well, you can disregard the season numbers for Manny Parra. It really has been a tale of 2 seasons, and since he has come back in his last 6 starts, a 4-0 record and a 4.10 ERA. And you might say, well, the ERA is a little higher than it should be, but the Brewers have had some big leads in a couple of his starts. As Headley bounces one out to Lopez, and the side retired. So Parra strikes out a pair in a scoreless first inning. And now the Brewers ready to face a guy making his major league debut. Major league debut today. Ken Maka, bit of a shift in his lineup, and a shift that was much talked about today. You see Manny Parra batting 8th, the pitcher, and Alcides Escobar in the 9-hole today. Rock, the Subway batting order for Ken Maka.
Just trying to shake it up just a little bit, try to get some activity in that lineup. The Piggly Wiggly scouting report on Correa. He was a 2005 first rounder out of the University of Miami. He pitches to contact, only 9 walks in his last 7 minor league starts. That was in AAA. And he's got a very good changeup. All of his other pitches very average according to Major League scouts.
Defensively behind Carrillo, it's Headley, Gwynn, and Blanks in the outfield. On the corners, Kuzmanoff and Gonzalez, with Cabrera and Eckstein at the Keystone, and the battery of Nick Hundley and Cesar Carrillo. A young battery. And a couple of guys that the Padres are hoping to count on for the future. Carrillo's first pitch to Felipe Lopez, high and away. Lopez batting .302 to start the day. Has 6 homers, 33 runs batted in. A couple of hits in this series. Drove in a run last night with a double.
Doing a pretty good job as leadoff hitter, getting on base. Still hampered by that hamstring, not able to go 100% all the time, but still in all able to get on base in front of the 2 big guys, Brony and Fielder.
Yeah, Carrillo, good breaking ball he shows early.
Cesar Carrillo from the University of Miami. College teammates with Ryan Braun. Matter of fact, former roommates matching up here as Lopez pulls one foul. Carrillo was a first rounder in 05, and a lot of expectations from him. He had a great college career. He was an All-American at Miami, but elbow issues sidelined his rise to the big leagues. He's just now making his major league debut. He had Tommy John surgery in 07, that ligament replacement surgery on his elbow, and so that set him back 2 seasons.
Well, the radar gun says he can get it up in the low to mid 90s, but according to hitters that face him, it doesn't appear to be that quick.
Into center field, Gwen backing up, and he's got it for out number 1.
The bottom line is that a guy that you can pick up the ball pretty well. 95 seems like more like 92, but he does have a good changeup.
Well, you've heard of a heavy ball, right? That's what you'd call a guy who sinks it. Feels like you get jammed a lot. You don't see the ball. That's called a heavy ball.
Tough to catch.
What would you call this?
Light ball.
A light ball. We'll see. No one's ever seen him. Here's Counsell getting to start at third base today. Carrillo, one thing he's done well is throw strikes, as Rock mentioned. Has put together a couple of good runs through AA and AAA this year. He's hit both stops. Cabrera, the shortstop, with a strong arm, takes care of Counsell. Carrillo was 8-4 down in AA San Antonio with a 4.24 ERA. That covered 20 starts. He won 6 in a row at one point in AA in the Texas League. And then he was 0-2 in 3 starts in AAA at an ERA over 6. And now he gets to face his former roommate, Ryan Braun, teammates at Miami. Braun didn't say much before the game, but he did say Carrillo is one of his best friends, and he's looking forward to the matchup. Should be fun today, he says.
Yeah, it's one of those I know that you know that I know type situations, meaning that Brawny knows the way Carrillo likes to pitch, and Carrillo knows it, so maybe he's going to mix it up a bit on Ryan.
Carrillo is from the Midwest, even though he plays college ball at Miami. He's from Chicago, so he's got a lot of friends and family here. He's from the famed Mount Carmel High School. They produce some big-time athletes in the sporting world. Guys like Donovan McNabb and Simeon Rice. Chris Chelios is from that high school. He is the 5th pitcher making his major league debut against the Brewers this year.
And the 13th different starter that Bud Black has used this year. That's a lot of starters.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Braun. The Brewers have not fared well against opponents making their major league debut this season. Hard to figure why. But the Brewers are winless this year against pitchers making their major league debut.
Well, so the odds are in their favor, I guess.
You got to think the correction is coming at some point.
That can't go on forever.
Brewers are 0-4. Full count to Braun. 2 outs here in the first. And that one is popped up into shallow left. The shortstop Cabrera will make the call. And the catch. And the inning is over. And Carrillo's major league debut starts with a scoreless first. A portion of proceeds for every Blizzard purchase will be donated to the Children's Miracle Network. Last year, $4.5 million was raised on Miracle Treat Day for the Children's Miracle Network. We're hoping to top that this year. Dairy Queen, one of the 5 top contributors for this program, having raised $77 million since '84. So we're glad to be a part of it. Kevin Kuzmanov starts it with a single to right. Speaking of treats, Rock, we finally got a delivery. Jim Lombardo bringing up our chocolate-covered bacon. Yes.
That's quite the treat right there. It looks like beef jerky. Yeah. Doesn't taste like beef jerky, though. Jim, thanks, Jimmy.
Duck down and say hi to everybody. There he is.
America's guest, Jim Lombardo.
Brought some cream puffs.
Cream puffs. The brownies were solid.
Notice how everything's on Rock's side of the table.
That's just the way it starts out.
Thanks, man. That's good stuff.
Thanks, bud.
Jim Lombardo, our good buddy.
The folks in the production truck were hoping for delivery as well. South Dock.
Kyle Blanks with a runner at first. Two hits against Parra. And a leadoff single here in the second inning. And that one is a fair ball down the line. And Braun able to cut it off, and that saves a run right there. As Blanks hits a hot one down into the corner. Braun did a nice job to cut that baseball off. Otherwise, Kuzmanov scores easily.
Kyle Blanks, big, tall, right-handed hitter, able to get the head out on one and rip it inside that third baseline. This San Diego Padre club, I tell you, they have been swinging the bats against the Brewers. It was down and in. It was supposed to be down and away, and Blanks hits it hard down the line. And once again, the Padres knocking on the door with nobody out.
Blanks a big-time prospect, getting a chance to play quite a bit these days for the Padres. Second and third, nobody out. And here is Nick Hundley. Just returned to the roster yesterday. He's been on the disabled list with a forearm strain. Put on the disabled list in mid-June. He did have a couple of games in the minor leagues in a rehab assignment. He got his first start since returning yesterday. Hundley chases one. No balls, 2 strikes. One thing the Padres have done, and you can see their plan in place, General Manager Kevin Towers making sure that some of these young players, these young prospects, they're trying to find out about. The Padres are 49 and 66. They're out of the race, but they're going to make sure they get these young players some time. And this is an evaluation period for so many of these young players.
And because of that, they're playing with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm, and starting to play some pretty good baseball. And a pretty good homestand. Another good splitter by Manny Parr. It's amazing what happens when he's able to get ahead.
A little bit later, the Pirates will be at Colorado. Rockies start the day as the leader in the wild card race. Colorado has a 1-game lead over the Giants, 3 up on the Braves and the Marlins. Cardinals lead the division to start the day, 4 games over Chicago, 7 over the Astros, and the Brewers 4th place in the Central, 7.5 back. That National League West has tightened up a little bit, with the Rockies and the Giants continuing to play well. And the Dodgers running into a little bit of a slide. Dodgers have dropped 6 of their last 10. They still have a 5.5 game lead, but all of a sudden, really for the first time in a while, you're starting to think about that West division as not being so sealed up yet.
Now the Brewers are going to have something to say about that division, because they play Colorado and San Francisco in September. It's going to be a bear of a schedule for Milwaukee in September.
Well, the last road trip of the year goes through Colorado. As Parra will go ahead and walk Cabrera to load the bases with one away. And hope for a double play from the pitcher coming up. Now, Brewers fans, our carsoup.com email the booth question today. You can submit your question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Tim wants to know, can you explain a double switch and why is it used?
Well, the manager has to go to the umpire and tell him that he's going to replace a position player in the pitcher's spot in the batting order. He has to do that first. That way you have a pitcher that's going to come in that you are thinking that you're going to use for more than one inning. Pitcher comes in, he finishes the inning that he's come in on, and then the next inning you don't want him batting in the inning while he's in there. So you make that switch, you put the position player in the pitcher's spot, so you don't have to worry about using that pitcher.
Carrillo to fielder, coming to the plate for one, and no chance at a return throw. So Prince cuts off the run.
And no chance for a double play on that ball. I mean, Prince Fielder able to grab the ground ball right to home plate, but no way he could get back in time to get Carrillo, who got down the line in pretty good shape, anticipating the double play. Nobody there. Lopez couldn't get there in time, so you just hold on to it. No sense in making that throw and whistling one down the line and clearing the bases. That was a good decision by Rivera, as tempting as it was to make a throw.
That's why it's important to play out all the options in your mind, right, before the ball is put in play. You got to know where you're going to go however it's hit to you. If it's hit a little sharper at you, you've got a chance maybe to start a 3-6-3 double play. Coaches always remind players, and it's a good lesson for young players as well. Be thinking about all the options before you actually have the play in front of you. That way you can just react, as Tony Gwynn fouls one away, and it's quickly 0-2.
And ordinarily with bases loaded and no or one outs, I mean, if it's hit on the corners, you're going to go home, because you can still turn the double play. You can go to home to back to first, but up the middle, better chance of turning a double play the more conventional way.
Parra, a chance to get out of this inning with no runs. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He's got Gwynn in a hole at 0-2. And Manny tried a fastball, reached back for a little extra.
It was supposed to be down and away, ended up being up and in. Overthrowing just a bit at 94 miles an hour. Now, if you're Mike Rivera, you got to block that splitter if he throws it here.
Ball and 2 strikes. Padres threatening in the second. Little bouncer and a routine play for Parra, who underhands it. Made it a little harder than it should have been, but he gets the out, and the Padres come up empty.
About it, Jerry.
Hi, Telly.
We at Dairy Queen are participating in Miracle Treat Day. We're donating $1 to $2 from every Blizzard sold across the country and throughout Canada to help kids at children's hospitals locally. Last year we raised a little over $4.5 million, so we're trying this year to beat that record. So a little help from all our customers and your fans will be able to do that.
Well, you're going to get a little help from me right now. I've been saying it throughout Brewers Live pregame show that I'm going to get me a Blizzard, and here I go, because I want to donate for the cause too. I think I'm going to have me an Oreo Blizzard. All right, I'll take that. Boy, that's good service right there. I bet it's just as good as the service. Pretty good. I think I'm going to have me a couple more bites, but for now, let's send it back to Miller Park where Brian and Bill are standing by.
Telly went to the hip right there.
What a sacrifice that was for Telly, huh? Eating a Blizzard. Well done, Telly.
I'm not sure I've ever seen Telly pay for anything.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I was speechless. I was absolutely speechless. That doesn't happen much. Good for him, though.
There we are. The animated Prince Fielder and the real Prince Fielder coming up. You ever played Home Run Derby in Times Square, Rock?
No, I haven't. Looks like fun.
Yeah.
Break some windows.
The real deal. And Fielder hits one high in the air to center field. Watch how far this one flies. Oh my goodness. That is one of the longest home runs you will ever see. Number 28 for Fielder, and it was a memorable one.
Yeah, big dent on the M&I Bank side out there in center. Wow, oh wow, my goodness. First pitch, no doubter for Prince. Goodness gracious, check it out. Break down the middle, big swing, high finish, he knew it right away. Times Square or not, that ball way back.
And look where this hits. That hit above the signs, above the Miller Lite sign or the M&I Bank sign.
When you start busting lights out of that scoreboard, you know you've hit one pretty well.
All right, Rock, we're going to get into your memory bank here as Cameron is drilled by a pitch.
That's a breaking pitch.
So Cameron will reach base. Have you seen one hit further to center field than this one?
No, not in the regular game. On the home run contest, once in a while in batting practice, you'll see a guy get a hold of one, but right on the sweet spot, and Prince gives it a pretty good ride to center field. You aren't going to see many go further than that. It's an amazing man, Prince Fielder.
Look at that. Knocked out one of the small panels. That'll come right out of his paycheck. But it'll be worth it.
Have Telly pay for it since he's in a spending mood.
That's right. Well, I'm anxious to see the tail of the tape on that long ball. A lot of pressure on the individual who measures that. I got a feeling that might be one of the longest ever hit here.
Yeah, it has a chance.
I mean, you figure 400 feet to the center field, and that is what, 100 feet high?
Yep, that's got to be, 480 minimum. Russell Branyan has the longest home run at Miller Park, I believe. Was it 470 something?
Well, Branyan hit one in 04 that was 480. He hit it off Greg Maddox at the time. That was in July of 04. Branyan has 3 of the 4 longest home runs hit in this ballpark. Fielder hit one 475 feet back in 06. And I think he may have just set the record. So it comes down as 465 feet as Garrett draws the wall. And I'm going to respectfully disagree.
Well, you would think that they would, get into the mood and get all excited and maybe, throw a 483 or something in there.
Well, here's the comparison, all right? That's in Times Square. That's not real. This is fake rock. Don't get alarmed. This is real. Same swing.
And it is alarming how far he can hit a baseball.
I think we're going to need to get a professional involved in this home run measuring system we have going on here.
Very faulty, apparently.
Announces 465. And, man, I don't know. No way. 465, by the way, it matches Fielder's. Actually, it matches Brannon's clout, tied for third. So Brannon still has the record at 480. A run is in, first and second. And Rivera at the plate, and all of a sudden, Cesar Carrillo scuffling in the second inning. He hit Mike Cameron, and then he walks Jody Garrett after the Fielder home run.
A blast like that's going to shake anybody up, particularly first pitch of the inning. And you get out there and you feel pretty good about your first inning, 3 up and 3 down, and then the big fella sends one into orbit on you.
On a day when the Brewers have their pitcher batting 8th. First time that has occurred this year. Ned Yost did it regularly last year.
The first couple of months of the season, I think he scrapped that about mid-June. Ken Maka has his reasons for it.
I talked to Maka before the game, and he said he wants to make sure it all has to do with Escobar. He wants to put Escobar in a position to run. And as you go through the lineup, ultimately Escobar is going to be a leadoff hitter. But he doesn't want to put that kind of pressure on him right away. Right. And you have Felipe Lopez as your leadoff hitter. So as he's making out his lineup, he's looking for a spot for Escobar in the lineup where he can run. And where is that spot?
Well, it's not in front of the pitcher, because the last thing you want to do is get on base in front of the pitcher. Especially with 2 outs, get thrown out, and all of a sudden you have the pitcher leading off the next inning. So that's why you don't want to have him in front of the pitcher if you want him to run.
I think you can classify Ken Maka as an old school manager. So this bucks what old school managers would do. But I think Maka, more importantly, wants to get Escobar in the mix and wants to utilize his speed. And as he started to build his lineup, he's certainly not going to run Escobar if he's in the 2-hole. Right. He's not going to run in front of Braun and Fielder. He's not going to hit for enough power to hit behind Fielder to protect him.
And he's not going to lead off yet. So
right.
I guess the only other spot would be number 9.
So that's the way it is today.
But we'll see how long that lasts. Maka has said that he'd like to play Escobar about 4 days a week.
Well, we're going to have Doug Melvin join us in the 3rd inning, so that'll be a good question for the general manager. Fielder's home run has the Brewers on top 1-0 in our Powerball home run leaderboard. It's updated. Fielder with 28 for the year. 2 homers away from 30. He's already driven in 101 this season. And still a lot of baseball to be played. 49 games left in the regular season. It's been an amazing year. Rivera pulls one foul. Nice long at bat here by Mike Rivera.
Yeah, Carrera hanging a breaking ball on a full count. Rivera just a little bit out in front. Rivera made an adjustment before his last start. Behind home plate in Houston. Moved up on the plate just a little bit closer. Feels as though he covered the outside corner a little bit better.
Yeah, Rivera in his last start had 3 runs batted in with 1 swing of the bat. He doubled his RBI output on 1 hit in Houston. And Rivera sends that one deep to left center. This is way back. And it's gone. Mike Rivera with his first home run of the year. A 3-run shot. And it's 4-0 Brewers.
And gave that one a ride. You love that for Mike Rivera. Outstanding job. Good work in the count. Got the fastball down the middle, and he gave it a ride into that Brewer bullpen. No doubter for Rivera. That's got to feel good for him. First home run for Rivera since the end of April last year.
Squared it up right on the barrel. And a 3-run homer. Now both of the Brewers catchers
On the board.
on the board. Kendall hit his first in Houston, and Rivera here in Milwaukee. Rivera has a ton of power. He shows it a lot in batting practice. And, you know, it's one of those situations where he's not getting a lot of playing time to hit a lot of home runs. But he's a guy you figured if he played every day, he'd probably hit 15 home runs, maybe 20 home runs a season.
He's got some pop, and that little bit adjustment, moving up on the plate just ever so slightly, has certainly worked out for him pretty well.
And the numbers don't bear it out, but because Rivera does have some home run power, Ken Maka talking about his lineup and how he's built it, that's exactly how he wants it. He wants a guy who can hit the long ball in front of the pitcher spot. I mean, this inning is playing out exactly as Ken Maka had hoped when he wrote out his lineup card today.
Yeah, 4 runs and 4 hitters. Pretty smart, huh?
Makes you a smart manager. Fielder goes deep. Cameron and Garrett get on, and then Rivera wipes the bases clean before the pitcher bats.
Just got to feel good for Mike Rivera. I mean, doesn't play a whole lot, doesn't get many opportunities, and his last 2 games he's driven in 6 runs.
Nice hand for Alcides Escobar, making his first major league start today. Escobar with 4 long balls down in AAA, a .289 average. And a ton of stolen bases. Escobar 34 steals. Actually, Escobar hit .298 in AAA Nashville. Little bouncer over to short. Cabrera has a good arm, and he cuts down Escobar for out number 2.
That's a heck of a throw, isn't it? A flat-footed sidearm, still able to get something on it, and a good throw, accurate throw to first base. Cabrera thought that was 3 outs. He started to run off the field. Check out this throw. Have to have a lot of confidence in your arm to make a throw like that from that deep with a guy running that hard.
Lopez on the first pitch, flies out, and the inning is over. But some fireworks here in the second inning. Fielder goes deep, his 28th of the year, one of the longest home runs you'll ever see at Miller Park. Rivera follows with a 3-run shot, and it's 4-0 Crew. Doug Melvin joins us when we continue. hitter number 28 of the season. Mike Rivera number 1. And it's 4-0 Crew as we head to the third. Manny Parra back on the mound. And David Eckstein leading off. And we are happy to be joined in the booth. Doug Melvin is here, the Brewers general manager, after a whirlwind day yesterday and the previous night. Hopefully things have settled down for you. I know a lot of changes, and you're right in the spotlight here the last couple of days. After all is kind of settled down, your thoughts about where you are right now?
Yeah, you know, it was a busy day yesterday, and I'd rather have a press conference announcing bringing people in or a big signing, but yesterday we made some changes with the ball club and you know, replaced Billy Castro, and Billy's a very talented individual. You don't stay in an organization for 20 years, 20-some years like Billy does if you don't have a talent and you're not a professional and that was very tough, because just only a week ago when we were on the road in L.A., Billy and I went to a movie together. We went to see the movie The Hangover, and Marcus Hanel and Billy and I went to a movie at 10:30 at night, and you know, you had that kind of respect and friendship, and then you have to make that call. It's a tough call, but it's the part of the business I don't enjoy doing. And then as far as you know, Billy Hall and JJ, they were just moves that I felt that, you know, we needed to do something, and I'm hoping that both these moves are positives for the individuals. I know that they will have trouble thinking that or accepting that, but with all the infielders that we have currently here, and Matt Gamble and Lopez and Weeks and McGee and Counsell, that Billy will get a better opportunity to play the infield somewhere else, and that's where he belongs, back in the infield. And then with JJ, I'm just hoping that he can go down to Nashville and relax and get back and be the ball player that we all know that he's capable of doing. And he had a slump this year, and it just extended to a point where just felt we needed to put him in an environment to have success, and that's what you do. And bringing up players from the minor leagues, you try to put them in an environment to have success. And I'm hoping that JJ goes down there and has success so he can get back here with us.
And what is the program on JJ? I mean, you expect at least come back in September, and maybe be sooner than that. And a follow-up, what can you put your finger on anything that created the problems that JJ had offensively this year?
No, it's tough. You know, I called his agent a couple weeks ago, Mike Seal, and just asked Mike if there was anything that we could do to help JJ. That it just seemed like he was starting to lose his confidence, and that I leave it up to the coaches downstairs. And that, but there really wasn't anything. He said, I was worried there's too much Escobar talk, trade talk, guys on waivers. Was that the case? And he said it wasn't the case. It was, none of that had an effect on him. So, you know, he just has never got in a good groove. And, you know, it is a game of confidence.
We need to take a break. We'll be back more with Doug Melvin when we continue as we head to the bottom of the third inning. back at Miller Park. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, and joining us in the booth is Doug Melvin, Brewers general manager, as Craig Counsell leads off. It's about bottom of the third inning. We're talking in all the news that came down yesterday with the general manager. Certainly a lot going on, and a lot of moves. I don't know how many moves you've made in one particular day, but that has to be right up there, huh, in your career?
Yeah, someone asked me that, and that might have been. You know, I made a trade in Texas one day. I think we acquired 4 players in 2 separate deals, and that to help us down the stretch. But you know, as far as moves that were going the other way and sort of had the negative tone to it, and that's probably the most I've made. You know.
What can we expect from Chris Bosio? I mean, what kind of a guy is Bosio? I know him as a teammate. You know him more as a coach, but he was kind of a fiery competitor as a pitcher. Is he going to be that kind of way as a pitching coach?
Yeah, I think that they were getting warnings again. This is a common occurrence in baseball today.
Last few days, I mean, last few weeks, there's been a lot of that in baseball.
Chris Bosio likes that kind of stuff too, you know. But no, I think with Chris, this is the first year he's with us, so I'm just getting to know Chris a little bit. Gord Ash works with Chris at the AAA level and has had a lot of conversation with him, but very knowledgeable guy. I know Lee Tunnell, our roving and pitching instructor, said Chris is very knowledgeable. You know, he's been here before, both as a player and as a pitching coach for Lou Piniella, but he does have a little bit of fire in him. That's the way he played the game. You know, there's certain things I know that he's always liked to pitch inside and be in charge, and you're in charge when you take that ball. But he also is very good with the so-called advanced part of the game too. He does love to look at the video and look at reports and how to get certain hitters out. He's just not going to go out there and overpower them and that. But he likes that part of the game too. And I know at one point last year when we interviewed him, he said the advanced scouting part was something that was very interesting to him. So knowing that he enjoys that part of it, it is a much bigger part of the game today than it's ever been, because you have this video system and video clips of every pitch, every at bat. You can pull it up real quick. You got all the different stats, and then there's new stats. There's so many stats I get a headache sometimes reading them. But to have someone that really does, you know, bear down on that kind of thing, it is part of what's needed today.
Chris Bosio, new pitching coach for the Brewers, in uniform for the first time yesterday. And how much thinking on your part goes into next year at this point? I know you said yesterday you're not giving up on the season. You guys certainly feel like you can climb back into this race if you can catch a hot streak. But as a general manager, your job is to always get out in front of it as well. So what's the balance there?
Well, you know, like I said, right now we're focusing on trying to get wins here. You know, it's important that we get back on a winning track and put a winning streak together. I said the Nationals won 8 games in a row. Why can't the Brewers? You know, and you always think that. And, you know, most of those teams that put those streaks together, they've done it with pretty good offensive explosions. It hasn't been as much pitching as much as you go out there and just pound the ball and score a bunch of runs.
Ryan Braun is going to put 2 more on the board. A long ball deep to left, and the 3rd home run of this game for the Crew, and it is 6-0 as Braun homers against his former roommate. Braun with 23 home runs and now 81 runs batted in.
You know, I've been saying, I was telling Mark Attanasio, I said that what we need to do is we need to get some runs early in the game, because we got a pitching staff that, you know, is sort of plays the corners. They need a certain pitches. They're not an overpowering type staff. I do believe we pitch better when we get a few runs ahead and you can make a mistake. We play tight ball games, and then all of a sudden you can't make any mistakes, and that's where we've been. A game like today is I'm just hoping that holds true, that you can go out there now and throw strikes and not have the tight situations and that. But it's important. Our offense has to get rolling too, and I'm not one to think that any one part of your ball club loses game. Whenever you have your champagne party, you win as a team. It's an entire. It's pitching, it's defense. I remember standing on the field last year and CC saying it was a team effort. You know, we got the big hits when we played good defense at times. And that's what it's about. So when you're going bad, it's never one component of your club. There's areas that you can improve on more, but still everybody's responsible for their part of losing streaks too.
And it just seems like lately it's one thing or another. I mean, you get a good start like the one in Houston for Yavani.
Yeah.
2 runs and weren't able to score any runs. So if it's not one thing, it's another. And that's something that maybe with these 2 new kids you brought up, maybe get some enthusiasm in that lineup, get a little bit of aggressive mode in that lineup, and steal some bases like last night.
Right. Yeah. The energy level is big. And the other part of going out there offensively early, it brings a crowd into the game. Puts the crowd into the game. The broadcasters don't fall asleep. There's a lot of positives come out of scoring early.
Well, I think one of the big topics today, at least for Bill and I, we're looking at this lineup, and last year we saw the pitcher batting 8th on a number of occasions under Ned Yost. And tell us your thoughts about this particular lineup today with Escobar batting 9th, Manny Parra batting 8th.
Well, the numbers do show over the course of the year that if you did that, hit your pitcher 8th, the team will score around approximately 30 runs more. And that's a 3, every 10 runs is supposedly a win. But all the numbers show that. And I don't know if I totally believe in all of it because your lineups change so much during the course of the year. But it depends on who the hitters are in that. Ken brought this up about this. He said, well, maybe I can hit Alcides 9th. Some guys don't like to hit it. They feel that, geez, it's demeaning to them.
Right.
And that it's not demeaning if it helps the ball club. That's the most important thing. I know the Cardinals do it. Tony gets away with it, and they do it quite a bit. Brendan Ryan hitting 9th in the order, and I know he beat us a couple times with some base hits and a double here one day.
Well, it's like having 2 leadoff hitters, right? You're a 9-hitter and you're a 1-hitter.
Yeah, and you're trying to stay out of double plays and things like that. So, it's hard to tell because of 162 games and all the plate appearances you have, but the numbers generally show that you can score more runs if it's that way. I don't know why they haven't done it for the past 100 years then.
They didn't have all those stats back then, right?
There
Exactly.
is that old school psychological part of it. It's not the normal rhythm of the game, but obviously the Cardinals have done it. And it is interesting because I heard you say yesterday, and you told us that you'd like to see the club run a little more now that you have some bullets to run. You've got Bourgeois and you've got Escobar, and Mock is a guy who likes to run when he has the chance, but there are very few spots in this lineup where you can run. You're not going to run in front of Braun or a fielder.
Right. I told Ken that I'd like. He asked me. He said, "Give me some criticism. We're not playing well. I can take it." And I said, "Yeah, I'd like to see the club run a little bit more. Or if you don't run, hit and run and hit. Put the guys in motion a little bit in that." And I know that you can't always do that. I hear on talk radio, geez, we don't do that. But you got to do it with the flow of the game situation. You can't do it if you're down 6-0 and get some guy thrown out at second base. And that's so, you got to leave it up to the guys in the dugout that know baseball, been doing it for years. There's a time to do it. There might be times you don't do it because maybe Felipe's got a little hamstring issue, things like that. So, you face a lot of criticism sometimes with everybody having the facts. But I did tell Ken I'd just like to see at least the thought of it. You got to put it in the mind of the other team. What happens is, I said, if we just sit there and say we're not going to run, we don't like to run, we're not. The other team, that is information that they can use to their benefit. If you're not going to run, I don't need to slide step. If they're not going to run, I can throw my breaking ball.
In any
count, I don't have to worry. Not going to run, I don't have to pitch out. There's so much. So I said, why would we say that in that? And that's not a knock on Ken. I'm just saying from an entire baseball standpoint, for teams to say, well, we're going to run or we're not going to run. Just don't tell them anything.
Surprised yesterday when Ken Mock in his press conference saying that a lot of his guys have the green light.
Yeah.
So it's not just Ken Maka, telling them not to run. I mean, they have the opportunity.
And I've talked it over with them. I said, when you run, you are going to get thrown out. So I told Mark, I said to Mark, Mark, if we run more, we're going to get thrown out more too, because you run. But you have to be aggressive. And that's why they call it grand larceny or Ricky Henderson stealing. The guy, Dillinger, he didn't stop robbing banks because he got caught one time, right?
Right.
Is that a good analogy?
That's a great analogy.
He
That's
got
an old
shot,
school
though,
analogy.
didn't he?
It didn't well for him, though.
Yeah.
It ended badly.
Yeah, okay. I guess you could blow a hamstring. It'll be the same thing, right?
You could. Doug Melvin joins us. Always great to talk baseball with Doug. And despite all the news that has gone on the last couple of days, you know, you look around, there is a full ballpark on a Thursday afternoon. The fans have been tremendous. The support for this ball club is tremendous. And I think they're appreciative that, you know, you guys are making moves and trying to keep this thing going here this year. The season is not something to give up on right now.
Exactly, you know, and you know, the players don't view it that way, and I don't either. And you know, you'd like to do something bigger, sure. I'd love to go out and there we go.
Jody Garrett down in the corner and having trouble with it is Headley, and Cameron is going to score. That one disappeared in the corner as Jody Garrett drives in a run with a double.
And Chase Headley's had a tough time in left field, you know, this entire series.
But yeah, we're not giving up on the season. We got to get back in a good frame of mind and win some ball games. And I know it's been disappointing that we haven't won games against teams that we were supposed to beat, but they are major league teams. You know, the Washington Nationals are a major league team, and they've won 8 in a row. I remember we won 10 in a row. We didn't have a very good ball club. What year was that? 205 or something? I don't know.
A while ago. Yeah.
Long time ago, but there's an example of speed. Mike Cameron scoring from first on a double and that. So, you know, the fans, I don't want them to give up. I'd always like to try to do something bigger, but you also got to keep things in perspective. You can't do something silly and stupid that's going to end up hurting the franchise over the long run. Because
after all, Doug Melvin has to think about the future. I want to ask you while we have a pitching change here. We've got this raffle going on. Step up to the plate. You and your wife Ellen holding the first of 3 in-game raffles at Miller Park. So raffle tickets are $5. Tomorrow's winner will receive a framed autographed jersey of Prince Fielder, and you can look for the raffle table near the home plate entrance to Miller Park. So this is the step up to the plate. You and your wife Ellen do a great job in the community. Tell us about this venture you have.
Yeah, Ellen's been doing this for a couple years now, raising around $40,000, and gets a lot of support from the Brewers and Lynn Sprangers and that. And they're going to have a raffle tomorrow night, and trying to raise money for Susan Coleman Foundation, and we tied it in with Billy Hall and his program. But this is something that Ellen, it's close to her because her mother passed away with breast cancer, and she's got a lot of support from her friends. Braden Looper's wife is helping out, and it's just a fun event that she has out here, and it's tied in with, they supposedly told me they made a bobblehead of me.
I can't wait to see. Can we get a copy of that?
Yeah, I tried to get Tyler to have it and have it back in April or May, because I knew there was a danger in September if we weren't playing well that bobblehead will be ripped off and
like a voodoo doll.
They'd end up on the field, huh?
Yeah.
Does it have a
replaceable head? I hope.
You have the BlackBerry on your ear like the bobblehead.
Yeah,
that's
good.
But
it's tied in with that too. So
that's great.
I was on board with doing that if it was tied in with Ellen's function.
Sure, great cause, and we're happy to promote it here. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to have Doug on the air today. As we have a pitching change, 7-0. The Brewers lead it. You'll come up every time if the Brewers are going to get 7 runs.
I'm staying right here, guys.
A 3-up, 3-down inning for Manny. What was that, about 3 minutes? And then big runs.
Yeah, I punked Bill, didn't I?
Luis Perdomo is on to work. Carrillo is out, and Cesar Carrillo, part of that great draft in '05. He was a first rounder, an early exit today. But it just goes to show you, because the next topic I want to ask you about is the player development and what is down in the minor leagues. You guys were heavy on pitching and college pitching this year, as Perdomo sends one back to the screen.
Yeah, I saw Eric Arnett the other day. I was in Montana while the team was in Houston, and I saw him, a big physical individual. You guys met him. He was here on the show, but he got a good arm, and he came in throwing 93 to 95 consistently. I didn't throw a lot of breaking balls that particular day, but you know, we've got him on limited pitch count because he had a lot of games with 120, 30 pitches in college. But he has a good arm, big physical size to him. That's one thing that we made a big change with in the drafting, that we didn't do in the past. We obviously had some very good drafts in the past with positional players. It's an area we got to improve in is on the pitching side. And you know, I tell people, you know, the Giants drafted a lot of pitchers and they're looking for hitters. We drafted a lot of hitters, and somebody said to me, why do the Giants have Lincecum and Matt Cain? I said, because we have Braun and Fielder.
That's right.
Can't have everything, right?
Right, exactly. I'd love to. It'd be nice if all four were on the team. It doesn't work that way, and that. So we're back to we're really putting a focus on bigger physical pitchers, good live arms.
You got some catching depth down in the minor leagues as well.
Yeah, we got Angel Salome at AAA. We have Jonathan LaCroix at the AA, who's got a 13-game hitting streak.
Oh, look at this.
And we got Mike Rivera in the big leagues.
Mike Rivera with his second home run of the game.
He heard us talking about those prospects. He doesn't want them.
Right.
He doesn't want them coming up.
If it was only that easy.
He said, talk about Mike Rivera.
Mike Rivera had no home runs to start the day. He has 2 now.
You got to be happy with the way some of these part-time players have performed. Jody Garrett's starting to swing the bat a little bit. He's getting a little bit more playing time.
Well, you know, I've always said that people have gotten on our bench, said our bench hasn't performed well, and one of the reasons is they don't play very. They never play consecutive days, and it's very difficult. You know, we had the same problem last year. People said our bench was better last year. And really, the only guy that was better was Gabe Kapler was, and he played the month of April. But Joe Dillon struggled. Craig Counsell struggled last year. You know, so our bench wasn't all that good last year either. And the toughest part is we've had good positional players with Corey Hart and JJ and Braun and Cameron. It's hard to take those guys out of the lineup. So the extra guys do not get a lot of work. I still think Jody Garrett's a better player than what we've seen for us. You know, last year he had 14 homers. And Frank Catalanato's got a nice swing. And if you ran him out there 4 or 5 days in a row, they'd find out. It's hard to go up there and hit one day and then not play for 5 or 6. And
especially a young guy.
Yeah, it's unfair in that. So Mike Rivera getting a chance here today. And the other part of it is, though, the player does have to capitalize when you get that opportunity. Right. And, you know, Casey McGee did earlier on in the year, and Gabe Kapler did last year. And so when you do get the opportunity, you got to capitalize on it and take advantage of it. But there are times that you can't. You got to always stay ready, and these guys are staying ready. Jody and Frank Catalanato are good hard workers, take extra hitting, just waiting for that opportunity. With Corey Hart out now, they will get a little more opportunity.
How is Corey coming along? What's the plan for him?
You know, I haven't seen Corey since I've been back here. I meant to go and see him today, and I think he was struggling a little bit. I understand on the bike the other day he could only do 10 minutes or so.
Feels a little weak.
I've never had that. You had that surgery?
No, I was talking to him yesterday and said just he's feeling physically fine, but just very weak.
Yeah,
you would imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, and that, but and Corey was swinging the bat pretty well, and he was a little more. He did what we asked him to do. He walked a lot more this year. He walked more than he did all last year. It did have an effect on his power numbers.
Less aggressive.
Let's get your thoughts on Alcides Escobar, who steps up to the plate here. Long-awaited arrival for Escobar. He's had a cup of coffee in the big leagues, but today his first major league start. You've probably seen him as much as anyone, though. Tell us his skills.
Well, you know, he's a very good defender. He's quick. He's got quick feet. He's got a strong arm. He's got great instincts in the field. You know, with the bat, he might be like any young player. He might struggle a little bit early until he gets comfortable. And that he'll put the ball in play. He's a very good bunter. I think he had 17, 18 sacrifice bunts and that. And but he, you know, you see these guys in the infield. He forces you to adjust your game. You could see last inning or his first at bat how they had to change his throwing mechanics to get the ball over. And David Eckstein, they know he can run. So that's a good part of it. You sort of create the action with speed like that.
Doug, thanks for coming up. You did a good job. 5 runs.
Yeah, how
nice
about
going.
that?
Come back anytime.
Okay, good. Thanks, Bill.
Brewers put 5 on the board. A couple of home runs.
second inning and 5 runs in the third. And we've already seen 4 home runs in this game. Fielder and Braun have both homered. Mike Rivera has 2 today. Nine zip as Parra takes over here in the 4th inning. Parra coming off a quick 3-up-3 down inning in the third. He ran into a little trouble in the second. Padres put runners at second and third with nobody out, and Parra managed to get out of it. That ball's well hit into the gap, and it bounces up and out of here for a ground rule double. So Kuzmanov has 2 of the 4 Padres hits.
Now, these Padres aren't going to go away quietly. I mean, they've been swinging the bats well for the last 2 weeks. And it's still, you know, for the season, the numbers offensively not very good, actually very bad, but they're starting to come along. I mean, these young players that we've been talking about. I mean, you know, Bud Black has put in his lineup a lot of young kids that he wants to see what they can do, what they have for next year. They're playing with a lot of enthusiasm and starting to swing the bat and play some pretty good baseball.
The Padres have won 11 of their last 15 games. So you go through a 2-week stretch of baseball and you go 11-4, putting together one of their best runs of the year. They got off to a great start this year, but of course they have lost a number of frontline players. Chris Young and Jake Peavy both spending significant time on the DL. Peavy traded away to the White Sox a couple of weeks ago, right before the trade deadline. Peavy's close to returning for the White Sox. He could be on the mound in Chicago within the next couple of weeks, we understand. San Diego got 4 players in return for Jake Peavy, and I feel like they may have found something with the left-hander Clayton Richard.
Well, that'd be a nice pickup for Ozzie Guillen's team. Get Jake Peavy back on the mound.
Leads us to our Aflac trivia today. Which 4 players have had jersey number 34 retired by their major league team? 34. There's a 34 here. Raleigh Fingers. The most famous 34 is Nolan Ryan for me.
Right.
I think. Could be missing somebody.
That's the one I think of other than Raleigh.
So there's half of them. You're on your own the rest of the way.
Kind of shocking you come up with the Texan.
Didn't Kirby Puckett wear 34?
Yes, he did.
There you go. All right, that's good.
Well, there's only one left.
Raleigh Fingers 34 retired. The number 42 is retired in every ballpark in the big leagues for Jackie Robinson. Always great to look up there near the rooftop here at Miller Park, see the great names. Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, Raleigh Fingers, Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, of course Bob Uecker. No number retired, at least a uniform number, but the number 50 retired when Uecker achieved his 50 years in baseball. I understand Robin Yount is in Milwaukee.
He's in town.
Is there a chance we could get him on the air tomorrow?
I think tomorrow he's supposed to come up doing some things for Robinade. You know, the Robinade that he has, the lemonade.
That cool, refreshing drink.
Yes. We'll have Robin in tomorrow. There's a chance we might have Corey Hart up here today. I ran that up the flagpole. It was saluted.
Okay.
By Gord.
Nice.
Gord said, come on, bring him up.
So Corey Hart could be joining us here in the broadcast booth. There's a swing and a miss. Hundley unable to check his swing. And Manny Parra has 6 strikeouts.
But he's really effective when he's able to locate that fastball early in the count. I mean, a lot of these Padres, the hits that they're getting are early. He gets too much of the plate with his fastball, first, second pitch. But when he's able to command it, locate it well, put it on the corners and keep it down, and he gets 2 strikes, that split finger fastball has been devastating. 6 strikeouts already for Manny Parra.
And back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff double by Kuzminov. Here is Cabrera, talented young shortstop from Nicaragua. He's only 22 years of age. This time last year, Cabrera was in Single A in the South Atlantic League. Quite a jump to the big leagues, but he has not been overmatched as a major leaguer. Hitting .268 to start the day with a couple of homers. He hit a walk-off grand slam home run last Friday against K-Rod and the Mets. And then the next night he walked with the bases loaded to put the Padres on top again. So 2 big days in a row for the young shortstop.
Well, another guy that's probably going to be a leadoff hitter someday, but Bud Black doesn't want to put that pressure on him at the top of the order.
Parra catches a spike and is able to throw a strike. That's the second time he's done that in his career. I remember him doing that. Was it earlier this year or last year?
He did it this year, and both times it's been strikes. Got to shave him down a bit.
Yeah, those are Ty Cobb spikes right there.
Get the 1.5-inch cleats on.
I remember when he did it the first time, we were concerned that fatigue was setting in. Maybe his legs are getting a little tired.
Well, you see that delivery that he has. I mean, that front leg, he'll go down and then he'll slide it and then set it down again. And once in a while, he's done it twice. He's caught the cleat, but not enough to keep him from throwing the baseball to home plate. It wouldn't be a balk if he holds on to it.
Ooh, that was a close pitch. Narrow miss. And Cabrera draws the walk. What's interesting, he's done that twice, and he's thrown strikes on both occasions.
Yep.
That might be something he implements into his repertoire, you know, kind of like an ephus pitch. Remember, Rob Nen used to have the toe tap on purpose.
Yeah. Just disrupt your timing, make you not sure when he's going to get rid of the baseball. Anytime a pitcher can do that, get the hitter to think about something other than the ball. I mean, you're doing your job. You disrupt the timing. That's what pitching's all about.
Quick visit to the mound. Mike Rivera wanting Parra to get right after the pitcher. Luis Perdomo is batting for the first time. Padre reliever. And there's a strike. Perdomo has hit on 4 occasions this year. He's 0 for 4. And it kind of looks like an 0 for 5 is coming up.
Yeah, don't say that. Not yet. You never know. Not a very good swing, but here he's got another shot.
1-2. And that just missed. Rivera was ready to head to the dugout. Perdomo has batted 4 times. He struck out 3 times. 2 on, 2 out. And down he goes. Perdomo strikes out. Parra has 7. He strikes out the side of the 4th. And it's 9-0 Brewers. Let's see Ryan Braun swing the bat. Will we continue? Find value at your local farm and fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. 9-0, the Brewers lead the San Diego Padres. Final game of this 3-game series. Bernie has done some sliding today. 4 homers hit by Milwaukee. Fielder and Braun have both gone deep, and Mike Rivera, for the first time in his major league career, with 2 home runs in a game. Rivera has 2 homers, 5 runs batted in today. Top of the order, Felipe Lopez against Luis Perdomo. Brewers are 13-0 when they score 9 runs in a game. You'd hope so. You hope the trend continues.
Well, you would figure they better be when they score 9 runs.
That's right.
If they're not 13-0, you figure you've got problems.
There was some treacherous games, high-scoring games, as Lopez strikes out. And we check in with Telly Hughes, back from Menominee Falls. Welcome back, Telly.
Thanks so much. It's good to be back. And we're going to check in with the crew in the community. Today, Mike Cameron is treating 1,600 kids from the YMCA of Metropolitan Milwaukee day camps and youth programs to a baseball game. Cameron is picking up the tab for all the event expenses. That includes buses to bring the kids to the park, all game tickets, and specially made baseball caps with his name and number on them. Last month, we saw him help cover the cost of a dental clinic here in Miller Park, so for nearly 300 area children could receive free dental care. So Mike Cameron definitely doing his part in the community, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. Great story. Good for Mike Cameron. He's one of the best. Great in the community. Does a lot on his own to make sure that kids get a chance to come to the ballpark. Cameron's got his bowling tournament coming up at Pinstrikes in Glendale later this month on August 27th. He's usually got something going on every month.
Yep. And a lot of things that many people don't know about. Some of these things are publicized, like his bowling tournament and the dental thing, and he's always talking to the fans around in the stands during batting practice and going up talking to kids. Just a great all-around guy to have on a club. Represents Major League Baseball very well. And looks pretty good in those shades. They look good on you.
I think I've tried those on. He's got the case with all the sunglasses. And I mean, he's got 15 pairs of sunglasses, what do you say? So he's got a pair of sunglasses for every kind of light. Cloud cover, sunny skies, partly sunny skies. I noticed Alcides Escobar was into his sunglasses case today. Prince Fielder is a regular invader of Mike Cameron's stuff. That's Prince's hat and sunglasses.
Mike Rivera is actually wearing the sunglasses under his catching helmet today.
Council lays the bat on one. Eckstein makes the play for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for Perdomo. And here comes Ryan Braun. He and Fielder have done some damage today. And we went ahead and looked at some of the numbers. Braun and Fielder combined. Look at their numbers. 51 homers. These are updated with 180 RBIs. Now, if you average the 3 and 4 hitters in the rest of the major leagues, these are the numbers you come up with. So you see how good Braun and Fielder have been in just about every category. How much better than average 3 and 4 hitters have been this year.
Well, you look at the Major League leaderboard. You get the stats every day. RBIs, batting average, total bases, on base percentage, and Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder are all over that list. If it's not Prince, it's Ryan. Ryan in the top 10 in batting average.
Both Fielder and Braun with home runs. Fielder hit a bomb out into center field, one of the longest in Miller Park history, and that was his 28th. Braun hit his 23rd in the 3rd inning. Brewers got 4 in the 2nd, 5 in the 3rd. Braun belting a home run against his former college roommate Cesar Carrillo at Miami.
Boy, rough major league debut for Carrillo. What was that? 0 for 4 for the Brewers in major league debuts. Of course, they haven't won this one yet.
Carrillo went 2 1/3, gave up 8 runs. Slow roller, a tough play. Perdomo fires, and it's in time for the out. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. 9-0 Crew on our way to the 5th. Major League Baseball team. Yeah, let's see, you got Nolan Ryan, Raleigh Fingers, Kirby Puckett, and Gaylord Perry of the Giants. That's the other famous number 34.
I wouldn't have come up with that one, would you?
Seems like Perry had a lot of numbers, but maybe not. I mean, he played for so many teams.
Was he a Texan?
Gaylord Perry? No.
That's why.
That's why you didn't come up with that?
That's why you didn't come up with it. You're a Wisconsinite now. We got to forget about the old Texas thing, right?
I am. I'm in.
You are in. State Fair dweller.
With both feet.
Yeah.
And unlike some of us around here, I actually bought my tickets to the State Fair.
You did?
Of course.
Wow.
Walked right up to the door and paid our way in. We had a great time Monday at the State Fair. Tony Gwynn lines one to center. And Cameron makes a play.
It has been a crazy homestand. Telly Hughes buying a blizzard and Brian Anderson buying a ticket to something.
That's not true. Telly Hughes, I'll give you. Mr. America's guest over here.
That's not even near as crazy as, you know, that 22 hit outburst by the Padres.
That was a little shocking and unnerving.
Buying the ticket. Just kidding, partner. You know that.
Absolutely.
Spend your money wisely.
There's a base hit by Eckstein.
Being a National City customer just got more rewarding. September 8th is National City Customer Appreciation Night, where customers can purchase up to 4 tickets at half price for the game. Visit a National City location for details.
Good crowd today here at Miller Park on a Thursday afternoon. Always love baseball in the daytime. It'll be a big doubleheader day for most fans here. You know, a lot of folks heading right over to the fair tonight. It's not a bad idea.
No, beautiful night. Supposed to be nice the rest of this weekend, isn't it? Looking forward to it.
Astros coming to town tomorrow. First of a 3-game series. Wandy Rodriguez starts for Houston tomorrow. Rodriguez against Giovanni Gallardo, a rematch from last Sunday. Gallardo continues to square up against the opponent's ace regularly.
Wandy Rodriguez beat him 2-0 in Houston.
Right off the glove of Parra, and a base hit for Gonzalez. Eckstein on his way to third, and the Padres have a little something going here with runners at the corners. The throw gets away. Fielder does a great job to keep that one from the dugout. Otherwise, another run's going to score.
Well, they had the big shift on for Gonzalez, figuring that he wasn't going to hit the ball to the left side of second base. He did that, and because of it, got the base hit. You can see Escobar not able to get there, and Eckstein able to get into third base. Not even Escobar with his great range could knock that one down.
That's a big play by Fielder. It keeps the shutout intact. Eckstein was ready to run from third. He was watching that play all the way. Yes. Headley takes a strike from Manning.
It's hard to believe the Padres now have out hit the Brewers.
That's right, 6-5.
And now, but down 9-0.
The Brewers have made them count. 4 homers today. Braun, Fielder, and Mike Rivera with a pair. Adrian Gonzalez is now 10 for 14 in this series. 2 hits yesterday, 2 more today. And there's a bullet into center. Cameron, did he get it? No, he didn't. That bounced, according to the third base umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt. Eckstein scores. Hunter Wendelstedt, the third base umpire, was over on the rotation, and he saw it all the way, and immediately the safe call. Cameron saying he caught the baseball, but he did not.
No, he didn't. Good call. Well, there's nothing he can do about it. I think Ken Mock wants to go out there and ask the second base umpire. I'm not sure why the second base umpire didn't make the call out there. He was a little bit closer. Hunter Wendelstedt all the way down the third baseline made the call, but it looked like a good call. If an umpire doesn't see the play and he's not sure, he's not going to signal safe or out. Apparently Hunter Wendelstedt, the only umpire that actually saw it, and it looked like he saw it right.
That opens up a good umpire rotation discussion.
Bruce Fleming, we need to get him in here.
You know, bases loaded. I'm assuming the home plate umpire is watching the runner at third to make sure he tags properly. And then that would mean the third base umpire would have the fly ball, right? And the second base umpire has the bag at second, I would guess. Because I was watching Brian Knight.
Sounds good.
He was not looking at into center field, the second base umpire. It's the little things.
At first and third, the second base umpire is actually on the infield grass to make the call. But once the ball gets in the air, I'm not sure what his responsibility is with regard to second base.
Write that down, would you?
It's in the vault.
On the things to do list.
It's in the vault.
Note to self. Kuzmanov banks one into left. And another runner is going to score. Gonzalez is plated. Kuzmanov's had a big series as well. 3 more hits today. And it's 9-2 Milwaukee. So a couple of runs in, just 1 out.
Yeah, Manny Parra throwing a lot of fastballs. That one middle in, and Kuzmanov able to get the head out. Padres not going to stop swinging the bats. That's their 8th hit with 1 out in the 5th inning.
And 4 straight hits, and here comes Chris Bosio.
Man, just got to get back on point for Manny Parra. There's no way the Brewers can afford another short start. And that's exactly what Bosio is telling them. Let's go. You're in here. We need you to go a little bit deeper. Hey fans, bring your camping gear and prepare to spend the night under our roof on September 12th. Visit brewers.com/sweetdreams or call 414-902-4424 for more information about Miller Park's Field of Sweet Dreams, presented by Kemp's.
So a quick visit by Bosio. 4 straight hits given up by Parra. 2 runs are in, and it's 9-2. And here's Kyle Blanks with 1 away. Two on, 1 away. Brewers looking for a double play ball here. Blanks a big cut and a miss.
Man, I got to get that ball down in this situation. Get the big fella to roll into a double play. Get out of this mess. You don't want the Padres to trickle back into this ball game. Got to stop it right now.
Ball and 2 strikes.
Trying to shoot the outside corner, just a bit outside. Good eye by Blanks.
And there's another base hit, the 5th consecutive hit. They hold the runner around third. So 5 straight hits, 2 runs are in. So we need a little bit of luck here, things to turn around. Look who shows up. Corey Hart in the booth.
How you feeling?
I'm hanging. It'd be better if we got us in.
You show us your scar.
That's 3 holes. It's nothing nothing too nasty.
In uniform as well. Great to have you. We really haven't had a chance to catch up. I know fans haven't heard from you since your emergency appendectomy. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I mean, it's sore. I mean, I actually feel pretty good. I just can't do a whole lot. I get tired pretty quick.
Tell us the story. You were just all of a sudden you're on your way to the ballpark, and next thing we know you're in the hospital, San Diego.
Yeah, well, it's that Saturday game, obviously against these guys. I got sick, but I thought I just had food poisoning or something, quick. But obviously I woke up the next day and I was a little worse, and my stomach was obviously on the right side, which is appendix, and they figured I should go right away, and it ended up being what they thought it was.
Wasn't a bad fish taco, apparently.
No, they thought it was the fish, but apparently, the restaurant was safe. I was gonna, shout out that don't go there. Right. So it worked out, so they were safe.
So how long were you in San Diego? In the hospital? You stuck around San Diego for a while, then came home.
Yeah, it was a vacation. I was there till Wednesday.
But the Padres medical staff took care of you as well. I mean, that was nice of them. Handle the Brewers outfielder. That one is deep to center field. It's going to get a run home. The 2nd out of the inning, but a run does score, and it's 9-3. So 3 runs are in this 5th inning. Corey Hart joined us in the booth. We've been trying to get Corey up here, and thanks for doing this. First of all, I know it's the middle of the game. Did you have any trouble on your way up?
No, I had to.
Did anybody recognize you?
I waved to a few people. Try to. It was a little. It was an obstacle course getting here, but it wasn't bad.
Probably wondering what you're doing in your uniform up in the concourse, huh?
Yeah, maybe it was an autograph session. They're going to start lining up out there.
It's a nice perspective, though.
No, it's beautiful.
Perspective you don't get very often.
No, it's nice.
Everybody that comes up here says the game looks very easy from up here.
Yeah,
would you concur?
Yeah, but it's just I haven't been able to obviously be here very lately, so like I've been watching the games on TV. It looks really easy on TV.
It does. Everything's slow and
yeah, you're like, why did you swing at that? Why didn't you swing at that? How did you miss that? Then you get out there and everything's sped up by 20 times the way it looks.
So how about your return? What are you thinking? How far is it going to go? What are your steps here?
I mean, it's a slow recovery. I mean, obviously they were shooting for the end of the month, but I mean, who knows? More likely it won't be till the first week of September.
Okay.
I mean, I'm doing obviously more each day, but my strength won't be there. Well, they won't. I can't do a whole lot strength-wise just because they don't want to give me have any kind of setback or any kind of hernia. So it's slow. It sucks because I obviously want to be out here, especially the way it's going. I want to get back and try to help out as much as I can, but
as tough as it is when you're out there when the team's not playing well, it's even tougher when you're on the sidelines, huh?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's obviously we're at that stage where every game counts and we have to win as many as we can, and especially when it doesn't go well, you want to go out there and try and do something. But I'm gonna cheer my butt off.
That's all you can do, right?
All I can do. It's when I'm at home, I cheer. Yell at the TV a few times.
But not at us.
Not you guys for sure.
No.
You guys are
Okay.
great. I'll only yell at you guys a few times.
Yeah, well, that's natural. That's normal.
So.
Corey Hart joins us here at the booth. 2 outs in this 5th inning. 3 runs have scored against Manny Parra. And he's hoping to get out of this mess here with runners at the corners. Parra has good stuff. That one just misses. We make very good umpires up here, as you'll notice.
You guys, that's what I'm saying. I yelled at you guys a few times, but for the most part, it was.
What was it? Balls and strikes, or what was it?
With you guys, sometimes it's hard, as a player, listening to
talk about the other team
talk
too
about
much, maybe.
You guys definitely like the other team sometimes, which is fine. But you got to keep it lively.
Right.
And
I got to ask you a question.
And you guys definitely have your favorites on our team, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I tend to have my favorites too. So when you guys are not loving the guys that I like a lot,
we walked into the clubhouse earlier this year, and it was after a Carlos Marmol game.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Corey Hart said, "Man, you guys love you some Carlos Marmol." I think he struck out the side that day.
Granted, he is. I hate facing the guy. I don't think anybody on our team likes facing the guy. So I mean, it's
all a good fun.
When a guy you're playing with the teams that the guys are doing it's tough not to brag about them.
Here's Escobar, and he fires to first, and the inning is over. Corey Hart, more coming up with the Brewer right fielder when we continue, and he'll get to talk about Prince Fielder. Corey Hart puts on his analyst shoes when we come back. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
back at Miller Park where the Crew lead the Padres 9-3, but one of those runs came on a Prince Fielder 465-foot bomb, and it only made us wonder how they come up with these measurements. Well, when this park opened, they came out with a packet, and this is the packet right here that measures the distance. I caught up with John Steinmiller. He's part of the media relations department for the Brewers, and he told me they came up with all these measurements, but coincidentally, he talked to the professor from UWM last week to see if they can update it, because they only measure where the ball stops, not where they estimate the ball would land. So when Prince hit that shot off the scoreboard, they only measure where it hit the scoreboard, not where it would have continued if the scoreboard wasn't there. So that's how they come up with the measurements, guys. So 460 feet, that's the official distance of that shot. So there you have it. Let's send it back up to the booth where Brian, Bill, and our special guest, Corey Hart, are standing by, guys.
So don't let the facts get in the way.
Yeah, I think the facts are bad. I mean, you see balls hit off the back screen back there. They say they're 420 feet.
Right.
That's 500 feet if I've ever seen
That's
a ball
a 500-foot home run by Fielder. Wouldn't you say?
It wasn't even coming down. It was kind of like a liner, but
on your way out, you can talk to Vasallo. He's the guy responsible.
That's terrible. I mean,
he kind of puts it on John Steinmiller, but really it's Mike Vasallo.
Yeah, I think he tries to put the blame on a lot of guys. Look at this ball.
Knocks out a little panel up there for a light, and regardless of what the laser reading says, in my scorebook, I've got it as a 500-foot home run.
Corey, it's got to be amazing to watch that guy down the field every single day, what he does. I mean, so consistent, driving and runs, swinging at strikes. I mean, we're amazed up here about how consistent he is every day.
That's why, I mean, obviously they're having a lot of bright spots this year. I mean, and obviously look at him; he's been phenomenal all year. That's why, obviously if he's on our team, then where are we, 7.5 right now?
Right.
It could be a different ball game, and he's definitely kept us in it.
It just takes so much discipline on a daily basis to have that kind of concentration. I mean, every ball player tries to do that every day.
That's obviously your goal. You try to stay focused and you keep your head there. And he's one of the prime examples. He does it day in and day out. And like that one.
Might have another one. That one's deep into left center, and there she goes. Fielder with his second home run. An opposite field home run for Prince. And now at 29 for the season.
And that's the amazing thing, Corey. Left field, right field, center field, left-handers, right-handers. It's been amazing to watch it.
I mean, obviously, like this year, he's hit left-handers so well. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to find anything negative about him. Obviously, he's a good player. He's a great teammate. And he does unbelievable things in the ball field.
What impresses you about Fielder? I mean, we see the home runs, we see the RBIs, but take us inside a little bit in the clubhouse or the everyday routine. What about Prince stands out to you?
The biggest thing for me is obviously as a player, it's hard not to let things bother you, and to let a bat bother you, a swing bother you, make a mistake on defense. It's hard to let things go. He could be open forward with 4 punch outs, come back the next day and hit 2 homers. A lot of players, you think about the day before. I mean, obviously you try not to, but he's out there the next day and trying to figure something out, and he usually figures it out right away.
And it's amazing that he's still real young. I mean, people forget how young he is.
Oh, I know. I mean, he's obviously his career has already been remarkable, but some of the things that he's going to end up doing are going to be up there with some of the big boys.
He's already hit 50 homers in a season. He's 1 away from 30 this year, and now with 102 runs batted in. Fielder with 2 homers today. Corey Hart joins us here in the booth, the injured Brewer right fielder. Hopefully we'll see him back in September. And there were a lot of talk yesterday. Of course, 3 major moves made yesterday, and everybody's wondering what the players' perspective was on those moves. How did they resonate through the clubhouse, in your opinion?
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, obviously, I talked to JJ a few times yesterday, and he's one of my closest friends in baseball and even outside of baseball. So I never want him to be in the wrong side of a move. But I feel like the team, like last year, they fired Ned late in the year that things aren't going well, so they think they got to do something to spark us. And obviously, hopefully, we start winning more games. But for me, I hope JJ comes up after a week and tears it up the rest of the year, because you guys have seen the last couple of years, he's a good ball player. And I'd like to see him back up here, but I think as a team, the fan base, you have to see something happen. I feel like that we're moving in a direction to try to change things around.
JJ's going to take a couple of days when the team returns to Nashville. He'll be back in Nashville and hopefully back to the big leagues, and give him our best if you would. I know Hardy, he's so young. I mean, he just like you guys have a big career ahead of you.
The thing is, like we talk about Prince, why he's so good. Every year, they're going to tell you, you need to do this the following year, work on this offseason. Obviously for me, they want me to work on play discipline. I feel like I've walked more, but it's going to take away. It'll take away a few things, and it'll take it might take you the next year to put the things together.
Right.
Like I've been able to walk more, but I've lost a little bit of power. So it's a stepping stone. Prince never loses anything.
Right.
Like to cut down your strikeouts, he's going to walk 100 times and still going to do what he does.
But it's not so easy. I mean, an organization can tell you and want you to walk more, but I mean, you guys have to take it upon yourselves and have the discipline to be able to do it.
Yeah, like I'm trying to walk more, but like I said, it's taking away a few of the things that I've done in the past. So you try to put one thing and then build to the next thing. So obviously, hopefully next year I can put the walks and the homers back together. And that's why Prince is so good, because he doesn't lose anything. When they tell him to do something, okay, I'll do that, and I'll still hit 40 or whatever he's going to do.
Not many people can do that.
No, not at all.
Now, there's no game like baseball as far as adjustments goes. And in order to survive, I mean, to survive as a Major League Baseball player, it's not just a year-to-year thing, but literally a daily thing for you guys to try to make adjustments and figure out how you're going to beat your opponent.
It is. I mean, you're playing these guys right now. We come back tomorrow, and who are we playing? Houston. I mean, these guys are going to pitch everybody one way, and then the Astros are sitting there watching, obviously, how they pitch us, and then they might do the same thing, but they might be totally different. So these guys are going to get you out one way, and today, we might figure out how they're pitching us.
Right.
They come out tomorrow and get pitched totally different, and have to figure out what they're doing to you. So
that's one of the reasons why certain players have certain success against certain teams, right? Because of their scouting report on you.
Yeah, you might, myself, I've always said Houston. Well, I can sit there and go 1 for 12 in a Cardinal series and come back and go 8 for 14 the next series against the Astros, who are a good team. So it's one of those things. It's hard to explain why you hit other guys well, but you get pitched differently from every team.
Yeah, explain a little bit. The Brewers did a pretty good job today against Carrillo. His Major League debut, a guy they'd never seen, but before that this year, the team, 0-4 in situations like that. Why is it so tough to face a guy you've never seen?
Well, you don't have any video on him. Like a lot of times for us as hitters, you study video, you study what these guys are going to do, and you have all this information.
And Manny Parr with a base hit. And here comes Garrett, and he scores. So the Brewer pitcher getting into the act today. An RBI single for Manny. And it is 11-3 Brewers. Brewers are scoring some runs with our in-booth guests today, Doug Melvin and now Corey Hart.
Doug had a few more. He had 5. I'm trying to, I'm a work in progress.
You're almost there, man.
So, but now about the pitchers, you just don't have a lot of information on them. So it's a lot of times you don't know what their pitchers are going to do, how fast they're going to throw it. You might have a scouting report saying this guy's average fastball, average whatever. Then all of a sudden he comes out there and just pitches really well, and it's hard to explain sometimes how the more you see a guy, the better you do. But like today, obviously the guy was throwing hard, and we were catching up to it.
You have scouting reports on the opponent, and you go through those reports. You see video. Do you ever look at your scouting report, like what an opponent would see about you, whether it's on paper or on video, just to find out what the book is?
No, I mean the video we get, obviously we don't know how they pitch. We know how they pitch us, but we don't know what they're thinking and how they're trying to get us out. But the thing we do, we have it's called the bats. It just basically shows every pitcher in the game what kind of scenarios, what they like to throw in these counts, how many pitches they throw. So and we have advantages definitely here that obviously you don't in the minor leagues, but at the same time you still you might see that and they totally can do it differently and get you out another way. So
is there information overload at some point? I mean, when do you know as a player when you've got enough information to go to bat with?
I mean, it's
or
tough.
do you get to that point?
You definitely get to the point. It's tough because you get all this information and you feel like you got a guy down pat. In this county, he's going to throw this pitch. He's never going to throw this pitch, and all of a sudden he throws a changeup, and he's only thrown 2 all year. Where does that come from? But just the catcher has a feel of what you're going to do, and same thing. Guys just try to mix things up, and sometimes it's against you, and it sucks.
What is Dale Swain's basic philosophy with you guys? I mean, it doesn't seem like it gets too complicated.
No, Dale's not complicated. I mean, the same thing. He's been trying to. It's been a tough year for obviously a lot of hitters, so he's had to deal with guys trying to figure the swing out and figure out how to come out of a hole. And I mean, you look at so many guys that are doing well, and you try to see what they're doing, why they're so successful. And I mean, you try to nitpick and do what you can, but at the same time, when you get out there, it's a little more difficult. A lot of times it's luck too. You need some luck to trying to get your turn around, and we've had a lot of guys that haven't been lucky.
Right. JJ, one of those guys.
Not a lot of luck.
Some bad luck.
I've had some luck. I think Jay just hit the worst luck, so that's why it's tough. I mean, luck can turn a lot of things around, and when you hit a ball hard, it gets through. You hit a bloop, it gets through, and then instead of being 0 for 2, you 2 for 2, or at least you have that confidence going. At least I got one hit today, and when you actually square one up and a guy catches it, it's kind of disheartening. You're like, oh gosh, my one hard hit of the year.
Corey Hart joining us here in the booth. Great to have him up here, Corey. I appreciate your time. It's always great to get your insights. We get a chance to talk to you before the games, but as the game is unfolding, this is a treat for us and our fans, so we appreciate that. I know the Brewers are anxious to get you back. Is there a minor league rehab situation in your comeback, or do you feel like you'll just come right back and play at the big league level when you return?
No, I'm sure I'll go, because it'll be 3.5, 4 weeks before I'm actually, when I got hurt, I'm back. So I'm sure they're going to want me to go for.
Minor leagues will be done.
Well, going in somewhere.
Yeah, then extend.
Might go to Arizona or somewhere. But yeah, I mean, but especially the way I've been this year, up and down. I like to. I want to go somewhere and get a few games in just to kind of get a feel, because I said it's tough, and you try to. I need to see live pitching in a couple, in a few games to try to get before you get back in there.
Corey had his appendix removed, an emergency appendectomy in San Diego last week. When you go down to the minor leagues and you come back on a rehab start, are you trying to see as many pitches as you can? I mean, I would imagine you wouldn't go up there hacking on the first pitch.
I don't know. I've never been on DL.
Is that right?
Not even the minor leagues, not even the big leagues. So it's kind of new. So yeah, but I would assume I'm not going to be swinging at any first pitches or.
So you're trying to see specific, spin, rotation, anything you can kind of get.
Well, you want to see all the pitches. I don't want to, if I go out there, and these guys, obviously, I don't know how these guys are going to be pitching. So if I swing at first 4 pitches, I might get 3 hits. But I've only seen 4 pitches. I haven't seen anything slow. So yeah, you want to see some changeups, some sliders, some curveballs, and that way it's not a surprise when you get back in there. You haven't seen a breaking ball in a month. So
basically, on a rehab assignment, it's not so much I was 5 through 7. You want to see pitches and feel comfortable at the plate, see the ball.
Yeah, you just want to start recognizing things again. You go out there and obviously as a player you want to do well, but it's more important to get out there and see as many pitches as you can. With obviously success is nice, but just to be able to get the recognition of those kind of pitches before you come back here and start seeing them on a regular day basis.
What kind of role do you, as we have a pitching change here, I notice you and Ricky Weeks, you're both in uniform, you're part of this club, but yet you're on the disabled list. What kind of role do you take on a daily basis? What's your routine like every day while the Brewers are at home?
Well, I mean, this is actually the longest I've been at the game. Usually it's just a couple of innings, I can go home and rest, and today it's day games. I feel like I could stay longer, but I try to do as much as I can in the locker room, in the weight room, try to get anything that I can get out of myself. But I mean, right now, it's still not a whole lot I can do. So, I got Maka yelled at me earlier because I was walking around too much. So,
You gonna be able to go on the road? You going on the road?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I won't be able to do any baseball activity at least until probably another 7 to 10 days. So, it'd be, they probably want me to stay here in rehab and stay with the guys here. So, it sucks. You want to go on the road and be with the guys and be at the clubhouse and be in the field watching the games, but at the same time, it's they want me here, so at least I get to stay here with the family.
Is your broadcasting today helping your recovery, do you feel?
Yeah, I'm sitting down, so so see what happens. I got kind of a cramp going, so go get some water or something.
Here's Joe Thatcher on to pitch for the Padres. 2 outs here in the Brewer 5th inning. Corey Hart trying to achieve as many runs as Doug Melvin. Doug Melvin was on with us earlier. The Brewers put a 5 spot on the board.
Yeah, but all we need is a Counsell double, and I beat him.
Don't underestimate the power of Craig Counsell.
Counsell, he can take it out.
It's a pop. He's got 4 homers this year.
What's his career high?
9.
But
other than that, his career high, except for that year, was 4. So he's kind of achieved.
No, I think he'll get it.
The silver medal.
What, the ball's coming off the bat. His bat better than I've ever seen it.
Here's a guy that, you know, last year, what did he hit, 220?
Yeah.
Really wasn't driving the ball at all. I mean, something he did in the offseason changed that swing, and all of a sudden now he's.
Oh, it's been great all year. Well, I was trying to, you know, I talked to JJ. You know, he's one of my good friends, so we try to pep each other up. And we obviously use counsel as an example. You know, have a down year, and all of a sudden you come back and he's been lights out for us. But like Jason Bay had, you know, pretty rough year 2 years ago. He came back and was unbelievable last year and gets traded to Boston. He's been great all year. So, I mean, you're going to have a down year. Nobody wants to have a bad year. But the thing is, you know, we've had success. So, I mean, you know, it's obviously in most of us, and you know, it's easy to come back the next year and have a turn around and be the player that you've been.
No, that doesn't have quite enough. And the inning is over. Corey, this is great. I really appreciate you coming up. We certainly enjoy hearing from you. I know our fans do as well. Good luck in your recovery, and we'll look forward to seeing you around the ballpark.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, that's Corey Hart, emergency appendectomy last week, and he was on the road to recovery. Fielder belting the 5th homer of the day for the Brew Crew. And its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
And today's time of the game winner is Ben and Maggie's Town Pump in Cameron, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, 902-4572. Ben and Maggie's get 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite.
Manny Parra back on the mound as we head to the 6th inning. 11-3 Brewers. And Luis Salazar leads off, hits one high in the air to left center. And that one is up and out of here. Swinging at the first pitch. Salazar with a home run.
That guy has done a pretty good job against Milwaukee. Had 2 big pinch hits in San Diego. And Manny Parra on the first pitch. They've been doing a lot of damage with fastballs early in the count. Don't want to have to deal with that splitter. And Oscar Salazar sends one deep into left center. No doubter.
So it's 11-4. The Padres have 10 more hits today. They have had double-digit hit totals in every game in the series. 22 in the opener on Tuesday, 11 yesterday, and 10 today, and we're only in the 6th. How about Corey Hart, huh? That was great. That was a nice treat to be able to sit and watch a game with a player. And we usually get a chance every now and then with the players during the game in the dugout, but for Hart on the disabled list to come up, kind of fight his way through the crowds and join us here. That was great.
Nice. The organization gives us access to not only the coaches' interviews in the dugout, but, you know, as you mentioned, sometimes the players, and Corey on the DL, very willing to come up here and tell us that he only yells at us from time to time.
He throws the remote control at us, just like you at home do. That's good insights. And, you know, I think what you see in his eyes and what you hear in his voice,
yeah,
well, these guys are affected by the season,
yeah,
and how
they care.
It has happened.
It's not just, you know, they're out there collecting their paychecks every 2 weeks. They care about being good and performing and winning ball games.
Little broken bat squibber, and Gwynn's going to reach on an infield hit. An excuse me swing, but it works as a base hit for Tony Gwynn.
That's amazing how the Padres have been able to rack up base hits like that throughout this entire series.
Dad says, just like I used to do it. Rarely.
Never.
Nothing but line drives, right, from Pops? Text to vote question brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Here's where we are at this point of the week. We'll wrap this up on Sunday. We want to know who you think the best closer in Brewers history is. And Raleigh Fingers running away with it. 11-4. Brewers lead the Padres. The Crew with 5 homers in this game, which is a season high. Fielder has 2, Rivera has 2, and Braun with 1. Prince now on the doorstep of 30 homers, has 29 long balls and 102 RBIs. Mike Rivera hitting his first 2 homers of the year. First time in his career that the Brewer catcher has homered twice in a game.
No activity in that Brewer bullpen. Actually, D. Felice looks like just got up. Ken Maka wants Manny Parra to pitch extended into this ball game. Like to see 7 out of him, but I think at this point he'd like to see him get through the 6th. Pitch count at 95, 96 pitches now.
Two balls and a strike on Eckstein with a runner at first. And a little flare. Garrett is back and he's got it. Boy, he was very shallow to start. And guarding the line, actually had to go back on that baseball. One gone. Manny Parra, our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Not only has Parra just rolled along here, he's given up the 3 runs in the 5th inning and then 1 here in the 6th, but also an RBI hit. Now, let's face it, Rock, you pitch a little different when you have a lead like this.
Well, you have to throw strikes. You don't be walking batters. Manny has walked 2 in the ball game. Actually to Cabrera both times with 2 outs and a pitcher coming up. So kind of an unintentional intentional walk.
That one's hit into left. Braun never saw it. And that ball is going to be out of here. Adrian Gonzalez with a home run. My goodness. A 2-run homer by Gonzalez, his 30th of the year. And all of a sudden the Padres are clipping their way back. It is 11-6 Brewers.
Now, last couple of weeks, this is a completely different offense for the Padres. I mean, these guys have been swinging the bats, scoring runs, driving in runs, getting on base, and Gonzalez right in the middle of all of it. Lefty versus lefty. His 3rd base hit against Parra today. This guy's been a one-man wrecking crew amongst a lot of offense for the Padres.
So 6 runs in on 12 hits now. Brewers still lead 11-6. Long way to go in this game.
Getting too close though. They're allowing the Padres to feel pretty good about themselves. They've scored 6 runs in the last 2 innings.
Bouncer over to Escobar. Hasn't had many chances today. And Headley is retired for out number 2. Just 2 chances for Escobar. He has a tremendous throwing arm. And a lot of range. Looking forward to watching Escobar here over the next couple of days.
And the thing you like about Escobar, he doesn't rely on the big arm. I mean, he doesn't need to show it off all the time. He gets rid of it quickly. uses his feet, puts himself in a position, doesn't really have to throw flat-footed when he is able to take some time. I mean, he's ready to play shortstop at the Major League level. It's just a matter of whether he's ready to hit. He certainly hit in AAA.
A .298 batting average, AAA this year. Join us tomorrow, Brewers Live pregame show. We're going to sit down with Escobar. Going to the rail with Alcides tomorrow.
Wow.
Catch up on his story.
Already a rail interview for Alcides.
Yeah,
huh?
He's earned the right.
Well, he must be a big prospect.
Another base hit. Kevin Kuzminoff has 4 hits today. And he is 10 for 12 in this series. And that's it. Maka has seen enough. So even on a day when the Brewers jump out to a big lead, Maka still has to go to his bullpen. 13 hits for the Padres. The Brewers, however, lead 11-6. And Manny is out. Pitching change. So Mark DeFelice will come on to face Kyle Blanks. Parra in line for the win, which would be his 5th since returning from AAA, but leaves not pleased with the way the last 2 innings have gone down. Parra had a shutout going through the first 4 innings, giving up 3 in the 5th on 5 consecutive hits, and then 3 more here in the 6th inning. Parra with 5 2/3 innings on the books, 13 hits allowed, and at this point 6 runs. They're all earned with 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. And here's DeFelice.
Brewers outfielder Mike Cameron is teaming up with Grammy Award-winning artist Usher and his New Look Foundation to host a bowl-a-thon on Thursday, August 27 at Pinstripes Bowling in Glendale, Wisconsin. Tickets are available for you to purchase and bowl with Brewer coaches and players, along with sponsorships and spectator tickets. For more information, call 414-902-4532 or go to brewers.com.
Now Parra hoping to even his record at 8-8 with the victory today. Still a 5-run lead, but the Padres feeling very hitterish in this series.
Out hitting the Brewers 13-8 and right back in this ball game. Mark DeFelice, who has struggled his last couple of times out, but overall very good numbers at .340 ERA in his 47th game here this afternoon.
Kyle Blanks with 2 away.
And good early on for Manny Parra. Outstanding, as a matter of fact. Able to wiggle himself out of trouble in the 2nd and 4th innings, but caught up to him in the 5th and 6th.
Parra with 7 strikeouts, and all of those Ks came in the first 4 innings. Ball and a strike on Blanks. Plenty of power in this bat. He chases a cutter from DeFelice, and it's 1-2. Close play over there. Down he goes. DeFelice strikes him out. And the inning is over, but the Padres score 3 more runs, and it's 11-6. greatest home runs you'll see at Miller Park. And a 5-homer game for the Brewers. Fielder has 2. Mike Rivera has a pair of home runs as well. Ryan Braun with his 23rd homer of the season. Brewers got 4 in the second, 5 in the third, added 2 more in the 5th. Prince now with 29 long balls for the year. He's driven in 102. Both of his home run solo shots to lead off innings. So a season high for home runs in a game for the Brewers, and the last 5-homer game was last June against Toronto, or June of '08, I should say, against the Blue Jays. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Slow-moving game today. And the new hurler is Ryan Webb for the Padres.
Well, in the 6th inning for Webb, we saw him in the first game of the series. Sinker baller with a pretty good slider. He's given up 1 home run in his 5 appearances so far, and 4 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings.
Webb, the 4th pitcher used by Bud Black. Cesar Carrillo started. In his major league debut, went 2 1/3 today. Well, the Brewers hoping to get 2 of their original 5 starting pitchers back soon. Jeff Suppan and Dave Bush are on the way back. Suppan is going to throw a rehab start on Saturday. That'll be with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. And Dave Bush will have a simulated game on Saturday, so they're both about at the same level. Probably see Bush go to the minor leagues for a couple of starts before returning. How about this play by Cabrera? Man, that is something else right there. Everett Cabrera.
Yeah, good arm and a good pick by Gonzalez. It's one thing you forget about with Gonzalez. I mean, he's just got such good soft hands over there at first base. A good play up the middle, spins around and makes a good throw. Anywhere close, and Gonzalez is going to be able to pick it. That was tough. That was an in-between hop. A good arm and a good pick.
And Braun is out, 6-3. Big shift is on for Fielder. Can he make it a 3-homer game? The Brewers haven't had a 3-homer game since Jeff Jenkins did it back in '03 against the Padres of all teams. Fielder now tied with Pujols, the Major League RBI race. Cardinals are off tonight. So as great of a year as Pujols is having, Fielder's sticking right with him in the RBI category.
And starting to creep up on him in home runs.
Pujols with 38. That leads all of the major leagues as well. And Prince walks on 4 straight. About our Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question today. Dan in Pewaukee wants to know, is the save an overrated stat when a last place team has the league leader? Heath Bell picking up save number 29 yesterday. I don't know, a save's a save.
Yeah, I don't get that question.
Takes a different kind of personality to close games. You know, a lot of players have the talent, a lot of pitchers do have the stuff to close games. Very few can actually do it.
And it doesn't matter how many games your team's won. I mean, is Steve Carlton's 27 wins less important or less impressive when they've only won 52 all year long? I mean, no, I think it means even more. I mean, those saves are even more important to a team when you don't win that many. You don't want to give up the lead late in the game. Now, a team that's young and a team that really isn't going to be going anywhere for a while, can they afford a big-time closer? Absolutely not. I mean, that's the last piece of a puzzle, you know, when you're putting together a team to make a run at the postseason.
Well, Bell's been a good one. I mean, there are some aspects of the save rule that you could understand why the questioning comes that way. You know, a 3-run lead, but saves are different nowadays than they were. And I mean, the save has evolved through the years, but a save is a save, and you know who the closers are. And
well, you come in with a 5-run lead with the bases loaded with 2 outs in the 9th inning. You get an out, you get a save.
Right.
The tying run has to be on deck. That's you know, maybe part of the save rule that, you know, could be adjusted a bit.
Sometimes a game is saved earlier than the 9th. Sometimes not technically, but sometimes it happens in the 7th or the 8th. Cameron draws a walk. Back-to-back walks given up by Webb. 2 on with 1 away for Jody Garrett. Bud Black was a big league pitcher. You don't see many major league pitchers end up as major league managers. He's like Roger Craig.
Good lefty. He could pitch. Good curveball. Real good control.
Tommy Lasorda was a pitcher. Minor league pitcher.
Right.
Bud Black had a nice long career on the mound. As a matter of fact, he pitched 15 seasons in the big leagues. Darren Balsley is on his way to talk it over with Ryan Webb.
Bud Black, Kansas City, right? Kansas City, Cleveland. One in Cleveland.
Yep, Kansas City, Cleveland. Spent some time in San Francisco.
Right.
He was a starter most of his career. I'm surprised you don't see more pitchers turn into managers. A lot of catchers are managers.
Somewhat one-dimensional. I mean, pitchers. I mean, for the most part, they know pitching. They don't really study hitting too much. They probably, you know defense pretty well. You know, a lot of position players don't, other than the fact that they go up there and hit, don't study pitching as much as, you know, a catcher would. I mean, a catcher is the position that has to be well versed in just about every aspect of the game.
Yeah, you're always kind of looking around players that you see. You think, hey, I wonder what kind of manager he would be. You know, I see a guy like Jason Kendall as evolving into a good major league manager one day, if he chooses. I don't know if he'll go that route, but still got a few years to play. But when he's done,
great counsel.
Sure, if he chooses.
Right.
The kind of money guys are making these days, you know, some of the better players aren't. They don't need to work anymore. Get the out at second. Garrett will reach on a fielder's choice. That is out number 2.
And that can ultimately be a concern, you know, in baseball. I mean, some of your really good talent, your knowledgeable baseball people that have had long careers and, you know, have the ability to go out and teach might not be willing to go to the minor leagues for 3 years. You know, ride the buses. They don't need the money. I mean, back in the old days, not that long ago, I mean, guys would finish their career. They didn't have enough to set themselves up for their entire life. In their retirement, they'd have to go down to the minor leagues and coach to make a living. But you're right, these days, most players aren't going to have to do that.
A lot of players, if they do want to manage, they want to do what Mike Scioscia did. You know, he was kind of a rover and a catching instructor that went around to the minor leagues for the Dodgers and had never managed at any level before he got the Angels job. Just a couple of seasons in, they were the World Series champs.
Well, Larry Dierker went from the broadcast booth to being a manager for the Astros.
and then back to the broadcast booth.
Right.
Joe Torre was a broadcaster. Joe Torre is one of those rare guys who actually had a significant playing career. I mean, he was a high caliber player, an MVP as a matter of fact, and he ends up being a Hall of Fame type manager as well. Usually the best players don't make the best managers.
And Joe Torre was a broadcaster with the Angels when I was there. The color analyst for television.
Did you ever throw the remote control to TV on a Joe Torre broadcast?
No.
Like Corey Hart does against us?
Well, I never. No, I didn't. That was good. I like guys being honest.
Sure. That was great. It's nothing we don't hear every day anyway.
Well, you know, they replay the games, the next day.
Yeah.
On Fox.
Do they?
Yeah. I watch them once in a while in the afternoon to hear what we talk about.
Right.
I've thrown a remote or two at myself.
What's this guy talking about? Oh, it's me.
That's has no idea what he's talking about.
Bouncer to Cabrera. He's got a lot of time. And that ends the inning. The Brewers come up empty. They strand a pair 11-6. We go to the 7th inning. Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Astros tomorrow. Wandy Rodriguez against Giovanni Gallardo. 6:30, we're on the air. Fox Sports Wisconsin. Don't forget, Saturday, we're on WMLW. And then Sunday, back on Fox Sports Wisconsin for the finale of the homestand. Mark DeFelice back on the mound. He got the final out of the 6th inning. In a game that could use a little bit of a push, Rock. Just a little bit of a push. There's a ground ball. And one away.
And there's been 2 3-up, 3-down innings. Check that. 3 3-up, 3-down innings, and 2 of them belong to the offense for the Brewers, oddly enough, with 11-6 lead. Manny had a very quick 3rd inning. Remember when Doug Melvin was in here?
I remember that. We almost lost him.
Maybe Doug can come back.
Got Doug Melvin on the air today in the booth. We had Corey Hart. He joined us in the booth today. So Corey Hart telling us that it's coming along slowly. After surgery, you can expect the recovery from emergency appendectomy. But he said he's going to go down, get some at bats somewhere in the minor leagues before he returns. of interested to see what the Brewers do September 1st. What kind of call-ups are going to be made, how many players they will promote. There's a number of Nashville sounds already here in Erie Barron and Alcides Escobar. Mike Burns, by the way, will start on Saturday against the Astros. He'll make the start against his old club.
Been a while for Burnsy out on the mound.
Big cut by Cabrera. He's not a big guy, but he takes a healthy rip.
Yep, cut fastball down and in. Man.
And Cabrera draws the walk. That's his third walk today. Well, this Sunday at Petco Park in San Diego, the home of the Padres, the USA's best high school baseball players take the national stage in the 7th annual AFLAC All-American High School Baseball Game. Craig Biggio joins the live HD broadcast, high definition broadcast. Game time is at 7 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Luis Rodriguez pinch hitting. Padres got a pinch hit home run in this spot on the order from Salazar. That was back in the 6th inning. A 3-run inning against Manny Parra. Parra exits 5 2/3, 13 hits and 6 runs, but in line for his 8th win.
And Mitch Stetter getting loose for Adrian Gonzalez. A couple of hitters down the lineup.
Other games going on today in the big leagues. The Phillies lead the Cubs 6-1. That one was in the 9th inning at Wrigley Field. A couple of home runs in that game. Brian Howard has hit his 27th. Pedro Feliz number 9. Phillies rolling all over the Cubs at Wrigley. Cubs have lost 4 straight, as a matter of fact, and they're in danger of dropping 5 in a row.
Pedro Martinez beat him last night.
What do you think of Pedro's return? He had 5 strikeouts in 5 innings.
Good changeup. As long as he has that changeup, he's going to be fine. Doesn't throw near as hard as he used to, but who does as they get up in age?
Feliz strikes him out.
A good changeup that time by Diefer. I mean, trying to really, command that pitch better against lefties. Doesn't like to throw that cutter all the time. He throws a changeup and able to get the strikeout. Right where you want it.
So 2 outs, a runner at second base. And Tony Gwynn will dig in. Kind of keeping an eye on the Texas Rangers. They have won today. They've beaten the Indians 4-1. Elvis Andrus homered today. And Texas starting the day in the American League wild card race, just a game and a half back of the Red Sox. The Yankees, the Tigers, and the Angels, all the division leaders in the American League. The Angels have played great baseball since the All-Star break, and they've won 3 in a row, and they're up 5 games on Texas. But that American League wildcard race, after New York swept Boston, tightened up considerably. At the Red Sox, the Rangers, the Rays, the Mariners are in the picture. Brought a lot of teams back after the Yankees took 4 from Boston.
Yep.
It was kind of looking like the wild card Was a pretty sure bet to come out of the American League East, but not so. Gwen pops it up to right, and the inning is over. Scoreless inning for DeFelice. To the bottom of the 7th we go at Miller Park.
Score right now as we move into the 7th inning. Brewers out in front, 5 home runs, Davey, including a pair from Mike Rivera, his first 2 of the season. Of course, he starts for Manny Parra, and we have to take a look at what he's done offensively in this ball game as we take a look at our Mercedes-Benz Class E attention assist of the game, and it belongs to Mike Rivera.
Boy, it certainly does, and boy, he got a pitch that was center cut and just drove it out for a 3-run home run. But you know, the thing about it, you look back in the 3rd inning, another pitch, a hanging pitch right there. You know, when they hang it, they bang it, and he definitely did that. You know, the thing about Mike Rivera, we saw it a lot last year. This guy works hard for the amount of time that he plays, for the limited amount of time that he plays. He keeps himself in great shape and does a nice job.
All right, our instructional after the ball game, not the home run, believe it or not. How about tagging from second? And the responsibilities around there. Bill and Davey set to break that down after the ball game. Brian?
All right, Craig, Davey, thanks a lot. Looking forward to that. Brewers Live following the game and the final game of the series. Greg Burke is on to pitch for the Padres. Hernan Iribarren leads off. Iribarren and Escobar. You'll get a look at the double play combination in Nashville most of the year with Iribarren and Escobar. David Weathers appears to be ready to make an appearance today.
Well, Ken Maka very pleased that he was able to get to the 8th inning. You figure you're going to get Weathers and then Hoffman. It's been a challenge for Maka for a while now to bridge the gap between the starter and the back end of the bullpen. You know, Coffey and Stetter and Hoffman. And now with Weathers, you know, you can back Coffey up. You have Stetter, you can use him a little bit earlier. Weathers, it looks as though he's going to be the 8th inning guy for Ken Maka.
Can't help but think what must be going through David Weathers' mind as he arrives to the ball club on Tuesday. Plenty of news to deal with since he's been a member of the Brewers. It's like, wow, what did I step into?
Sometimes players are the last to know this stuff. You know, talking to half the players, they didn't know it till they got to the clubhouse. I mean, they're not listening to the talk shows. A lot of them don't really, you know, read the papers a whole lot. I mean, why read a lot of the articles that have been coming out lately about the team and
or the blogs?
Talking about the players anyway.
Right.
So yeah, they get to the ballpark, had no idea what was going on.
What are all these cameras doing out in front of the clubhouse? A slow roller, and that is going to stay a fair ball. And Escobar with a base hit, his first of the year. So on his first career start at shortstop, Escobar 1 for 4 at the plate. He did line out his last time up.
Now the Brewers will do a few of those in this series. I mean, the Padres have had a boatload of hits just like that. Infield hits, jam shot hits, and Escobar able to come up with one, and no chance for Hundley, even if he grabbed that right away to get Escobar. A clean base hit in the scorebook. A line drive down the line. Could lie a little bit.
That'll even be a line drive in Mike Vasallo's scorebook. Escobar does have a hit in his brief major league career. He was up last year in September. Alcides pinch ran yesterday for a fielder. He stole a base and then ended up at third base in the 9th, representing the tying run. He brings that threat of speed.
Well, again, you're in the bottom of the 7th inning. You've got a 5-run lead. The Padres have scored 6 runs, all coming in the 5th and 6th innings. I mean, is this a situation where you don't steal? I don't know. You know, back 15, 20 years ago, you don't run, but the way runs are scored these days, I think you're free to go. Now, those unwritten rules in baseball have been adjusted over the years. Yeah. You know, 5-run leads today aren't what they used to be. Which is why Gonzalez is holding him on.
2 balls and a strike. See if Escobar is on the move here. He stays put, and Lopez takes a ball down and in.
That's a good running count right here. You figure if Burke throws a strike, Lopez likes it, he can hit behind the runner, get a head start. And if he takes it, it's ball 4 anyway.
Escobar takes off, and Lopez slices it foul. So indeed on the move.
I guess the old theory is if you're going to run 3-2, why not run 3-1? Good chance you're going to get a better pitch to hit 3-1 than maybe you will get 3-2.
Escobar down in AAA stole 42 bases this year. 42 steals in just 109 games. Stole one against Hundley last night. Although oftentimes a base runner steals a base on the pitcher, not so much the catcher. Especially if you ask a catcher.
He stole second base off the pitcher. He got third base because of the catcher last night. Threw the ball into center field.
Takes off again. Lopez spoils another one foul.
And you know what? Catchers learn that over time. If a runner gets a good jump, pitcher doesn't do much to hold him on. You know, he's Bell pretty slow to home plate. Sometimes young catchers try to be quick and make matters worse. If you're too quick, you throw it away. Not only does he get second, but he ends up on third base, and you get an error.
And I like Doug Melvin's point. We had the general manager on earlier today, and you know, just the threat of the steal, the opportunity that you might run, changes the thinking of the opponent. Escobar takes off again. That one's well hit to deep right center, and it's down. It's going to go to the wall, and Escobar is around third on his way to the plate. Escobar scores from first. An RBI double by Felipe Lopez, and it's 12-6 Brewers.
Well, 3-2 pitch, fastball right down the middle, and Lopez able to get it out of the reach of Blanks and right. And with his speed running on the pitch, Escobar knew right away that ball wasn't going to be caught. He slowed down just a bit at second base, but scored easily standing up, and Lopez with one out stands at second base. Got to look at your coach in a situation like that. You don't need to turn around and look at the baseball.
Escobar with his first hit of the year, and then he scores on the Lopez double.
Bringing energy to the ball club. That's what Doug Melvin was hoping that he would get with Escobar and Bourgeois with the club. Some speed. Different types of hitters up there at the plate.
Counsell with one out, Lopez at second. 12-6 Brewers here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Astros tomorrow. Gallardo back on the mound. Tough luck loser his last time out, Giovanni Gallardo. A 2-0 Astros win. Wandy Rodriguez won his 11th that day. 7 shutout against the Brewers. Gallardo pitched well. He made one bad pitch. He gave up a 2-run homer to Jeff Blum. And then Mike Burns on Saturday. Braden Looper gets the ball against Roy Oswalt on Sunday. Oswalt got hit around against the Marlins his last time out on Tuesday. Astros are ahead of the Brewers in the standings in the Central to start the day by a half a game.
And that's the thing. It's not just being behind, you know, the Cardinals by 7.5 games. It's 7.5 games and in 4th place. So not only do you have to hope that you win and the Cardinals lose, but you have to have a lot of other teams lose as well. More teams you have to leapfrog. 7.5 all of a sudden becomes 12.5. You don't figure everybody to lose at the same time.
Counsell down on strikes for out number 2. Well, here comes Braun. The Brewers today scoring 12 runs on 10 hits and a season high 5 homers. Previous 3 games, going back to that shutout at the hands of the Astros on Sunday, just 11 runs and just 2 homers. Well, maybe this will be a sign of things to come. The Brewers are certainly in a position to start winning some games if you go on the law of averages. I mean, if you figure this team is a good team still, then you count on a nice finish to this season, a finishing kick in the final 49.
And you know, those offensive numbers, previous 3 games, not dreadful. You know, 11 runs, 27 hits, a couple of home runs. I mean, you figure that's not too bad. You might think you might get a win out of that, at least one of them. But you can't expect to score 12 runs a day. I mean, still giving up 6 runs today is a lot of runs to be given up on the mound.
And 13 hits as well. Braun pops it up. Shallow center. Glenn eases in. And the side is retired. On our way to the 8th. Brewers 12, Padres 6. DQ Miracle Treat Day. At participating locations, a portion of the proceeds of every Blizzard purchased will be donated to the Children's Miracle Network. Thanks to Dairy Queen. Last year, $4.5 million were raised on Miracle Treat Day for the Children's Miracle Network. Dairy Queen is one of 5 top contributors, having raised $77 million since 1984. It's a great cause. We're glad to be behind it today. So go buy some Blizzards. 12-6, the Brewers lead the Padres in the final game of this series. We head to the 8th inning now. David Weathers is on the pitch, his second appearance as a Brewer. Eckstein, Gonzalez, and Headley.
Well, numbers on David Weathers, a long major league career, a .323 earned run average. His 45th game, pitched a scoreless inning Tuesday against the Padres. Likes to work away, got a good changeup, and he'll sink the fastball in the outside corner.
Eckstein, a little roller to Escobar, and it's out number 1. Weathers just a good guy to have around a ball club. You know, he's a veteran major leaguer, easygoing personality.
Always has a smile on his face, kind of a prankster. Remember the years when he and Curtis Laskanik were on the ball club.
Always looking over your shoulder.
Back in County Stadium when they had the no roof, obviously. It got cold in April. They tried to get a fire going in a drum in a bullpen.
How'd that turn out?
Nothing but smoke.
Do they have 2 rocks or?
I don't know what it was out there, but it didn't go over too well. The game had to be stopped. They had to put it out.
Is that right?
And both of them just laughing away out there.
Weathers saw the opening of this ballpark, Miller Park, in '01. He was only here half a season. So, you know, when he arrived to Milwaukee on Tuesday, you're thinking, oh, well, you're back in some somewhat familiar surroundings. He goes, you know, I don't remember much about Miller Park other than coming here as an opponent. So this part of the fence, I haven't seen much of. And he made a good point. You forget that it was a while back when he was a Brewer. He spent parts of 4 seasons in Milwaukee, 98 through 2001. Just shy of 40,000 on hand today. 39,683 on a Thursday afternoon. Plenty to cheer about today. Brewers fans deserve it. It's been a rough homestand. The first 2 games did not go well. It's a pretty good ball game last night. The Brewers had their chances last night. A 6-5 loss. Hoping to hang on for a win today. Weathers thought he had Gonzalez struck out. Instead, it's a walk. And Gonzalez on base for the 4th time. His 90th walk of the year. Gonzalez leads the National League in bases on balls.
They tried to shoot the outside corner. It looked like a pretty good pitch, but the corners are closed these days in baseball, and hitters know it.
So 1 out with a runner at first, and here's Chase Headley.
Surprised Prince is holding the runner on. Well, now they're going to call timeout, and he's going to play halfway. Especially with the left-handed hitter up. Right-handed, he might hold him on to try and get that double play, but the lefty play behind him with a 6-run lead in the 8th.
One and two. Five homers today for the Brewers. Season high now with 128 long balls for the year. It's always good to bring your son to the game and see some home runs, man. That'd be a good memory. How's that chocolate covered bacon coming along, Rock?
Gone. Somebody ate it. Put in the back of the booth and disappeared.
Now our stats man Mike Faulkner has some of the evidence on his chin and on his hands. That'd be a good place to start.
Is that what that was on my note that he passed me? I wasn't sure what that was.
You didn't want to ask either.
It was chocolate.
You didn't want to
okay.
ask.
All right, now it's all coming together.
It's a great shot, isn't it? That's what I love about the ballpark. The family's here having some fun, making memories. Full count to Headley. One gone in the inning, and he fouls another one away. How's the post-game instructional coming along?
No idea. Haven't heard from anybody today. Haven't had a tap on my shoulder tonight. Usually about the third or fourth, I get a tap and we talk about the instructional. But
third or fourth inning?
Yeah.
Wow. I think what I suggest, as Headley draws the walk, you know, maybe the protocol on when to tag up might be something interesting.
Fine with me.
On a fly ball to the outfield.
That sound good?
I was just, you know, I was wondering about that myself.
Whatever you want, partner. I think that's what we'll do then.
Back-to-back walks issued by Weathers. You thought he had a couple of strikeouts in those walks, but instead 2 on with 1 out. And Kuzminov, who has a perfect night going, or perfect day, I should say. 4 hits, including a double and an RBI. Kuzminov has been a tough out in this series. He's only been retired twice. And another base hit. A 5-hit game. Gonzalez is going to score. And it's 12-7 Brewers. 5 for 5 is Kuzminov with 2 RBIs.
After a 6-for-6 night on Tuesday for Adrian Gonzalez. My goodness. A team that's dead last in batting average in the National League. Now with their 14th hit today. A couple of walks and a single, and the Padres are not going to quit tonight.
5 hits for Kuzminov, a career high. So a runner's in, 2 on, and here's Blanks. All of a sudden a long ball here, and it's 12-10. Still just 1 out. Weathers could use a ground ball. Yeah, good pitch. 2-1. Took a little off on a hitter's count.
Yep, that changeup. That's a good pitch for him. He'll throw a slider from time to time, but not too many. Usually works away to right-handers and tries to throw that changeup down in the zone. Weathers always has been very good at getting the ground balls, and he could use one right here.
Got him. Struck him out. A big out for Weathers. Blanks takes a seat. Third time he struck out today. And the second out.
Now with all the strikeouts today, only 2 of them have been called strike threes. And Dana DeMuth rings him up on that pitch.
So here's Nick Hundley. Hundley is 0 for 3. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly of the 5th. 2 on, 2 out. Padres with 7 runs on 14 hits. You know, as a team, you go through a series, you get 22 hits in a series. You feel pretty good about yourself. Well, the Padres have 22 hits combined from 2 players in this series, Kuzmanov and Gonzalez, with the potential for at least 1 more time at the plate. 22 hits in 28 at-bats. Adrian Gonzalez, a 6-hit game. Kuzmanov with 5 hits today.
Well, the Padres so far with 47 hits in the 3 games. A little bit away. It's been like that all day.
The 1-2. Popped him up. Lopez back in the grass. And he'll make the call. Oh, and he dropped it. Lopez dropped the baseball. And here we go. A run is in. It is 12-8. And all of a sudden, the Padres are going to bring the tying run to the on-deck circle. Dropped a pop-up. As routine as it gets.
Well, looked like he had it. Maybe a little bit nonchalant out there in center field. Good pitch by Weathers. Got it camped. Plays it off to the side. Just rolled right out of the glove. And Chris Baggio is going to go out and settle down. David Weathers should be out of the inning. But they're not. I'll tell you, outs have been like pulling teeth in this series for the Brewers.
Well, Lopez and Weathers, teammates in Cincinnati back in 05.
There's been 1 3-up 3-down inning for the Brewers in this game, and it was about a 9-pitch inning for Manny Parr, the 3rd inning. Every other inning has been very tough.
That is a pop-up that has to be played. Would have ended the inning. Instead, the Padres get a run, and the inning is extended. Now Cabrera will hit. And it's a 4-run game. 2 runs are in. Kuzmanov at 3rd. Hundley at 1st. Cabrera, who has walked 3 times today.
You walk this guy, and you got the tying run come to the plate, and Will Venables on deck. This guy's been on a home run tear lately.
He would pinch hit in the pitcher spot.
Wouldn't that be something?
3 balls, no strikes.
Well, you figure it's going to be Mitch Stetter to face Venable if, in fact, he's going to come up in this inning. Got the left-hander getting loose.
There's a strike. In there, strike 2, just at the bottom of the zone, and Weathers finds his way back in the count. 3-2 on Cabrera. That's Venable. He's due up next. And a home run threat. Hundley will get a head start over at first. 12-8. The Brewers lead is down to 4. That is line to right and a base hit. And another run is in. Hundley will stop at 3rd. And it's 12-9 Milwaukee. This is incredible.
It is unbelievable.
There are no words to describe the frustration that is rolling through this ballpark right now.
9-0 in the third inning. And right now, it's a 3-run game. The tying run coming to the plate. And Ken Maka is going to have to make another pitching change. Should be out of the inning. The air extended the inning, and now one of the hottest Padre hitters is coming up to try and tie it up.
Take a timeout. Padres will bring the tying run to the plate with 2 outs, and Stetter will deal with Venable when we come back. And they have made it a game again in what should be a runaway win for the Brewers. Now they are fighting for it here late. San Diego is within 3. Stetter is on the mound to face Will Venable, who will pinch hit for the Padres. Stetter trying to get an elusive out to get through this 8th inning.
And Mitch has had a tough time in his last 3 outings to get it out. As good as he has been all season long, he's in a bit of a stretch where he's having a tough time. But you've got to use your only left-hander in the bullpen in a situation like this. You got Venable and then Tony Gwynn, another left-handed hitter.
Well, Venable has hit 7 home runs this year. 6 of them have come in the last 13 games. I mean, he has been on a home run binge here lately. Venable, typically a starter, pops this one up. Braun coming in, wobbly legs, makes the catch, and the inning is mercifully over. 3-run score. It's 12-9. here today. Prince Fielder has had a big day at the plate. 2 hits, both homers. Number 28 and 29 for the year for Fielder, has 2 RBIs. And he's walked Mike Rivera, his first career 2-homer game. Rivera with 2 for the season, has 5 runs batted in. Braun also homered. Ryan hit his 23rd of the year back in the 3rd inning. But with all of that offense, the Padres have kept the hammer down, and they are close. They are within 3. It's 12-9. San Diego got 3 in the 5th, 3 more in the 6th, and they've added 3 in the 8th. 9 runs, 15 hits for San Diego, 12 runs, 10 hits for the Brewers, as Edward Mujica will take over on the mound for the bottom of the 8th.
Mujica has done a nice job for these Padres. You can see his numbers. He's worked a lot, 52 games, 46 punch-outs, and just shy of 60 innings of work.
Brewers were rolling right along here. They had a 9-0 lead through 4 innings. Manny Parra was working on a shutout with 7 strikeouts. Padres got 3 in the 5th to make it 9-3, and then the Brewers came right back and scored 2 runs, and then it was 11-3.
9 runs in 4 innings for San Diego.
It was 9-0. It was 9-3, then 11-3, then 11-6. Padres got it within 5. Brewers scored a run on an RBI double by Lopez in the 7th to make it 12-6, but a 3-run 8th inning. And all of a sudden it is a save situation at this point. Well, Fielder trying to become the first Brewer to have a 3-homer game since Jeff Jenkins back in '03, when he did it against the Padres.
And you hope that the Brewers are going to be able to add on, because Trevor Hoffman, if the Brewers don't score, going to come in and have to deal with the top of this order for San Diego. And that includes Adrian Gonzalez. That's the last guy you want to see with men on base.
They'll bounce her into the shift. And Eckstein handles Fielder for out number 1. Manny Parra still in line for the win, which would even his record at 8-8. It would be his 5th win since returning from AAA. He'd go to 5-0 if the Brewers can hang on. DeFelice did a nice job out of the bullpen today, inning in a 3rd with a couple of strikeouts. David Weathers gives up 3 runs, only 1 of them earned in that 8th inning.
Now the 2 walks after 1 out, and it came back to haunt him. Both of them came around to score. Very unusual for David Weathers to be walking batters. Maybe a bit rusty. Been 4 games before he made an appearance on Tuesday. Weathers is a guy that likes to work quite a bit.
Mujica facing Cameron. Cameron has been on base 3 times today, a couple of walks, and that one's well hit to left, and it's unable to be played by Headley. Laid out for it. Extra bases for Mike Cameron. A 1-out double for Cameron, his first hit of the game.
Nice to add on here. It's been an adventure in left field for Chase Headley in his 3-game series. Got a late break on it. The angle wasn't what he would like, and Cameron able to get into second base easily with 1 out. He's had a tough time out there in left field.
Yep. And you know, you watch Headley, who made the move from 3rd base to left field, and you know, he's struggling out there. He's trying to find, like you said, the angles, how to approach baseballs. It makes it all that more impressive what Ryan Braun has been able to do.
Right.
To make the same kind of transition. Braun never played the outfield. Had never even owned an outfielder's glove until last season.
Well, Ryan Braun bought into going to left field right away. I mean, he was more than willing to go out there. He'd struggled at third base. You wonder the mindset of Chase Headley if he's bought into the whole left field thing.
Unlike Braun, Headley has played left field and a little third base this year. They continue to float him back and forth. Jody Garrett having his best day as a Brewer. 2 hits, 2 for 3. Slices that one away from Headley, and he'll run it down for the out. 2 outs.
Headley playing pretty deep out there in left, even for Garrett, who doesn't have much power to the opposite field, but able to get back there and just short of the wall, able to call it in. A much better play. Good angle on that one. Ball slicing away from him.
So 2 outs, and here's Mike Rivera. And maybe it'll be Rivera who belts 3 home runs. No home runs to start the day for Rivera. Homered in back-to-back at-bats in the second and the third, and 5 runs batted in for the Brewer catcher. Came in with no homers and 6 RBIs, 2 long balls and 5 ribbies today. And he really started to swing the bat well in his last couple of starts, and Rocky pointed out a little bit of an adjustment at the plate for Rivera certainly has paid off.
Yeah, a little bit exposed on sliders away, so he creeped up just about an inch. Not much, doesn't take much. Making it a little bit easier to get the barrel of the bat on that pitch away. You have to cover the outside corner. There aren't many pitchers in the game that are very good at consistently pitching inside effectively. Guys will leave it out over the plate, throw it inside too much, but you really don't worry about the inside corner. You got to be able to cover the outside. Tough to take, but it's the ball.
Count stays at 2-2. Well, as of right now, it's a save situation. And the man who has appeared in more games as a Padre than any other player in their history, Trevor Hoffman, would look to make it his second save against his former club. Hoffman has pitched in 902 games as a member of the Padres. 16 years in San Diego.
So he's seen just about everything. I'm sure he's seen games like this before. How many 12-9 games has he had to come in and save?
Cameron takes off. Rivera swings and misses. The inning is over, and it is Trevor time at Miller Park. A save situation for the all-time saves leader. Did most of his work in a Padre uniform. He'll try to do it against his old club when we come back.
It's been awesome. I don't think it could have ultimately played out any better once I got on the field. I mean, being 3 weeks late wasn't exactly what people expected, but I think being able to get off to a good start helped the club win some ball games in May and June. We sputtered as of late. We need to kind of right the ship and understand that it's not about how the new guy's done or what he's doing, and all-star appearances and things like that from an individual standpoint. We're here to try and get to the postseason again.
Trevor Hoffman, and he is on to pitch. Save situation here in the ninth. Facing Tony Gwynn. These two squared off in much different circumstances 2 years ago. Gwynn as a Brewer, Hoffman as a Padre, and the Padres trying to play their way to the postseason that year. Gwynn tripled off of him to tie the game, and then the Brewers would end up winning that game, and that forced a playoff between the Padres and the Rockies. And of course the Rockies would win the one-game playoff and go all the way to the World Series that year. And here they are matching up again. And those who followed the Padres as a young Tony Gwynn was growing up, he spent a lot of time under the wing of Trevor Hoffman. More so under the wing of Hoffman than he did his dad, Tony Sr.
Trevor's job right now is to get him out. I mean, who would have thought that in the third inning, when the Brewers get off the field with a 9-0 lead, that Hoffman would be coming in here in a save situation, as Father Gwynn watches his son battle up there at the plate. No TV for the Padres today, is there? So he's a complete spectator.
He's truly just a dad and a fan today.
He can actually say what he wants up there about what's going on, right?
That's right.
Does not have to be politically correct or mix his words. Looks calm though.
41-year-old Trevor Hoffman. Top of the order for the Padres. 3-run lead for the Brewers. Padres have out hit the Crew 15-11. And Gwynn gets jammed. A bouncer to Escobar. Gwynn retired. And one gone for Hoffman. Well, as a Padre, 902 games, the most all-time in franchise history. 552 of his saves came as a member of the San Diego Padres. And of his 7 All-Star appearances, 6 of those coming in the uniform of the Padres. Hoffman an All-Star this year at 41 years of age. Trevor with 25 saves. He's made 36 appearances now. Just 2 blown saves this season.
And getting that first out, that's huge. You get the first out, you don't give them any life in that dugout any more than they already have, for that matter. They had a pulse to the Padres starting in the 5th inning.
They brought the tying run to the plate last inning. Stetter was able to retire Will Venable to end the threat and keep the 3-run lead intact. Dangerous hitter coming up next. Two balls and a strike on Eckstein. 1 for 5 today. Little pop up. Fielder gives chase and unable to run it down. 2-2. Hoffman started the year with 18 consecutive scoreless appearances that covered 18 innings. That ranks 3rd in franchise history to start a season. And began the year with 16 straight saves. Two and 2 to Eckstein with 1 away. And a bouncer out to Lopez. 2 gone. The Padres are headed to St. Louis, so you hope their hitting ways continue. And they do damage against the Cardinals coming up in their next series. The Brewers welcome in the Astros tomorrow. Hoffman's last save came last Wednesday, a week and a day ago. That was against Los Angeles. Save number 25 and career save 579. The major league record for saves in a career. He said he wants to get to 600. Certainly has a chance to do it. Gonzalez pops it up. Mike Cameron's got a long way to go, and he's got it for the out. Hoffman a 3-up, 3-down inning. And the Brewers win it. It wasn't easy, but it's a win. And snapping the losing streak at 12-9, the final score. Hoffman with save number 26, career save number 580. Manny Parra's the winner. And it's time for Brewers Live, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury. Let's send it out to Craig Deshawn.
Okay, Brian and Bill, thanks very much.